Oh my goodness, I'm about to interview EJ. This is someone I learned Cinema 4D from. And we're going to talk about crypto art and marketing. How do you market crypto art? What does that mean? So join this live stream, or I guess listen to it if you're interested in this topic. We're going to have EJ on here in just a moment. It's going to be really cool. Sorry, I'm chewing some gum. Maybe I should spit out the gum. Let's bring on EJ. Here we are. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Getting that audio hopefully working. Good connection speed. Hey!
Hey, what's up?
Oh my goodness, it's good to see you. How are you doing?
It's very good to see you. I feel like I've talked to you many a times, but not like in person. Or not
Yeah.
I
Oh,
guess I
sorry.
guess this is in person, as much as in person as we can be right now. Hold on, I got my
Exactly.
little
This is.
gorilla. Whoa.
Oh, let me see. Let me turn off my Wi-Fi. Is it better now? The image quality?
Yeah, I
Or
mean I can see you. You're
cool.
a
I can.
little pixely, but yeah,
Oh, okay. I can see you now. It seems like it's working.
cool. Just getting my little jibby thing here so I don't have to hold my, hey, there's my hands. Going
Hey,
hands free. Hey, look, ma, no hands.
there we go. So for those of you joining the live stream right now, we're going to be talking about marketing and crypto art. And it's a really new space, and there's probably some questions that we want to talk about. So do you want to introduce yourself, EJ, for folks who don't already know you?
Yeah, so my name's E.J. Hassenfratz. I have a website called iDesign.com. I've been doing like Cinema 4D training for the past, gosh, 7 years. And now I've joined School of Motion, been there for about a year, and really having a lot of fun there as creative director, making courses. We just dropped a big course with David Ariev. That's really fun about cinematography. But yeah, like
Nice.
I've kind of made my way from being a designer at a local ABC news station to leaning hard into the training aspect. And man, seeing you doing what you do all the time. I feel like every time I'm on Instagram at night, like you're on, and like me and Winbush go back and forth. It's like, damn, that Don Allen man, he hustles.
Wow.
So it's super inspiring to see what you're doing, and like I love what you and Winbush are doing because you guys are like just pioneering all these new tech, and like you just shared a little life hack with me just 5 minutes ago. So it's just super cool to always keep learning, and I love seeing what you're doing. And like this crypto art thing, man, I learned a ton from you just, was it like a couple weeks ago where you did a live stream? You had one of your friends on the phone. You couldn't get the video working, but,
Yeah.
oh man, it was that kind of just, because it's one of these things where
Hmm.
like I just sold my first crypto art last month, I think. Yeah. Which I
Yeah.
was like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Hmm.
But before that, I was very skeptical, and I feel like I was going through the same thing that I'm seeing a lot of other people are doing. But now I'm on
Hmm.
the other side, and I'm like, guys, like people, like this is a thing. Uh, yeah. So that's where we can kind of start.
Oh, I think I lost you for a second. I think you said, there you are. Sorry, I got you back.
Yeah. Sorry. I was saying that's pretty much my journey up to this point. Like I'm super new to this. Like I learned a lot from you a couple weeks ago,
Sure. Yeah.
and like just starting to become uh, able to talk somewhat coherently about the whole thing,
Yeah.
So
Well, I
yeah,
guess maybe we should start off with a couple of like definitions, because a lot of folks might come in here and they're like, what are they talking about? Crypto art?
totally. Yeah.
For those of you joining right now, crypto art, well, it's a new space. It's very new. And I guess how I would want to sum it up is essentially we're creating virtual assets and artwork that have the same value as physical artwork. That's how I try to sum it up. What would you say is the definition of crypto art that you kind of have come across?
The definition of crypto art, sarcastically, like the answer that I'm getting, or something that, like, as far as my view of it right now,
Yeah, your view of it right now,
my
because I
view of it
think that would
right
be very
now.
helpful to hear. Yeah.
Uh, so actually, your description of it a couple weeks ago really kind of made things connect for me. where you basically were like, you know, yes, there's a value placed on these ones and zeros, but there's Pokemon cards, right? And if you think about it, all a Pokemon card is a rectangular piece of cardboard. Like, and it's like, but my brother literally like last month, he was
Hmm.
going through all of his like junk from when we were kids, and he has all these Pokemon cards from back in the day. And he's like, you know what? I'm gonna clear it. I'm gonna sell all this stuff. And he just bought or he's renting a house, so
Yeah.
he's trying to make some money. And he sold a Charizard card for $600, and he just had it like laying around. So it's like there's all these things that you dollars for a Charizard card. So that's with
Right.
anything. It's very a personal opinion of like, well, what's valuable to you? We have all the like I think now more than ever, everyone has these super small niches or little communities or groups that they kind of go to, and they're into really weird stuff, and they
Yeah.
think
Super
weird
niche.
things are super niche, and they think this is super cool and this is super valuable. But at the end of the day, like 99.99999% of people are just like, I have no idea what you all are doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think you gave a great example with Pokemon cards. Like that one is a great
No, that was
example because,
you. That was all you.
oh, oh, sorry. It's all jumbled up. Sorry.
No, that was something you compared crypto art to, and I thought
Oh,
that was super funny because I was like, you're totally right. My brother just sold this thing that was like this Pokemon card was worth nothing to him,
right.
but someone paid $600 for it on eBay, and it's like, okay, you
Yeah.
do you, get person that's gonna get a Charizard card.
Yeah. I guess to add on to it now, thanks for reminding me. It's all jumbled up. It's been stuff going so fast here. Um, but yeah, like when you think of like why is art valuable to anybody? If you
Sure.
can answer that question to yourself, like, well, why is that artwork valuable? A lot of it comes down to, well, there's lots of things. One is like, who is the artist? That might be a question that helps decide the value of a work. Another one might be the process of how they made it. Another one might be the materials they use. There's all these different factors. And so with crypto art, it's no different. There's essentially people find value in lots of different things, and you'll be so surprised. I mean, if you see how much stuff is selling for, it feels weird at first because we're coming from like, I mean, we think of digital assets as things that you just copy and paste, and they don't have scarcity. But now this thing called crypto art comes out, and they're saying, no, these set of pixels are scarce. They are owned by, these are created by artists, and then they have a unique identifier that lives with it. So it's a very different space. But I guess, I mean, maybe one reason why I want to kind of stress why it's so important for artists to get into it right now is that it's kind of put stress on platforms like Instagram that we're on right now.
Yeah.
Because if artists start realizing that there's a ton of value in like their digital artwork, and that value is meaningful to somebody else, and they can make actual currency from putting their digital artwork on on a different, like a crypto art marketplace, then that's
Yeah.
going to put pressure, I think, needed positive pressure on social platforms that then have to be like, well, how can we make our platforms more valuable for artists that want to spend their time and to put artwork out there, because they can just leave and go to just start selling the crypto artwork. Wait, we need content, we need attention, we need
Hmm.
eyeballs, so we need ad
Yeah.
dollars. So,
Yeah.
but I'm wondering, I know you might have like certain questions about stuff, so do you have any?
Well, just to follow up with your Instagram comparison there, I don't know if do you know David O'Reilly?
I probably do, but I'm not connecting the name right now with a face.
So he's super popular
David O'Reilly.
artist. He's done a ton of stuff.
David
David
O'Reilly.
O'Reilly. I
Mm-hmm.
think he's worked on. I think he makes his own like weird video games and stuff too. But he's
Mm-hmm.
fairly prominent, and he just sold. I think he just sold his first crypto art piece today, and it made like a couple thousand, something like that. But
Beautiful.
anyways, he's pretty prominent, like kind of out there kind of guy. Um, super like crazy. Like he's into a lot of experiential kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways, he had this like whole Instagram rant about like he
Oh,
was talking to a bunch of other artists and he was sharing
oops,
that we're
lost you for
talking.
a second.
Oh
I
no.
lost you for a second, but I think you're back.
All right, all
Um,
right. Dang it, Instagram.
I know
Uh,
they heard you say
they're
that,
like,
and they're
yeah, we're talking crap about them. We're like, let's throttle them. Uh,
yeah.
um, so he was just sharing these conversations that he's had with other artists, and it's like if you think about it, uh, we are all just posting our art and what we make to Instagram for, I guess, exposure bucks, I guess, like to get the likes, the hashtag dope ass likes. Yeah. Uh, um, yeah, just that like like that dopamine drop. And also to like promote yourself and like kind of be a brand, I guess you could call like,
Hmm.
if you post and you actually share a little bit of your personality or your creative persona, like you obviously do. Like you are like everyone knows your personality when they watch your Instagram either
Oh,
stories or video and stuff like that.
thanks.
Um, and yeah, no, it's great. You're a very positive influence to the industry, so it's like great to have that out there. But like really,
Wow.
all you're doing is making money for Instagram at the end of the day, right? Like what we're doing right now, like we're not getting like on YouTube, at least when you post a video and you like if let's run an ad right
Hmm.
now. It's hopefully I didn't cut out there.
Oh no, I
Um
got you. It was good there.
nice. Um we're not making any money off this. There's no ad dollars or a percentage of ad dollars coming to us as artists.
Hmm.
We are just actually, and you probably know a little bit more about this than I do, but when you actually post something to Instagram, you actually give some rights for them to do whatever the hell they want with it, to repurpose it, to do so. Not only is it like the exact opposite of like crypto art, where it's like you put your stuff on that platform, someone buys it, and they like you still retain all the rights to it, right?
Yeah, which is
Like even
nuts.
though that person can say that they own it, but
Oh, oh no, sorry, you cut out again. I think Instagram's hearing what you're saying, and they're just like
yeah,
throttling your internet speed or our internet connection. Um,
yeah. I mean, at night, right? That's what they do. Like everyone's at home, everyone's live streaming, talking about crypto art at this late at night.
and they're just like, "Hey, you're not talking like that. Not on our platform.
Right?
Just
Yeah,
like
none of that.
lower your bit rate, and just like, oh, sorry, just connection just happened to go out right now." Instagram, because I have some friends and some people at Instagram. So if you're listening to this after the stream, you understand where we're standing, and I
Oh
don't
yeah,
think you're gonna think that we're wrong with this. So if you cut the stream right now, we know there's something really
we
fishy.
know what's going on. Yeah,
Yeah, just throwing it out there.
We're up the chain at Facebook. Whatever's going on.
Yeah,
Um,
but you're saying how you give up some of your rights when
yeah,
you
you give
share
up all your
something.
rights. So yeah, David O'Reilly was just kind of ranting about that and how it's like we really need a platform that works for the artists and like we're not giving away all of our rights and all this stuff, and that made me think of like kind of go. And I know he just got into the crypto art scene. And he's like, I don't know if he actually said this, but what
Hmm.
the natural like imagine a platform and there's already multiple platforms, but it's like sure it's about you're making crypto art and stuff like that, but like selling it's just kind of the byproduct. What if there
Sure.
was an Instagram that was also somewhere you could sell? Like there's the Instagram shopping freaking thing that they added that makes everyone angry, which you
Yeah.
obviously see that's one step to the wrong direction of where everyone else would like to see this
Sure.
platform go.
Yeah.
Um, but so that kind of I've been having so many conversations with a lot of people. So David O'Reilly, I was kind of like saw that conversation. I wasn't a
Uh-huh.
part of it, but another another buddy of mine, Lorcan O'Shanahan, a lot of O'Reilly O'Shanahan. He was talking to me about how he doesn't like about crypto at this point, and he's right, is that it's so like there's these individual walled gardens,
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the things if we want to talk about why artists might be apprehensive about crypto art. It to some people it feels elitist, and I totally see that. I
Sure.
totally get that. And that's why when I got in and I got accepted by Known Origin and I saw you were there, and I'm like, we're not like heavy hitting artists. We're not Beeple. We're not
Right.
Beeple. We're not Blake Catherine. We're not, uh,
Hmm.
you
Right.
know, F Render or, Hood Ass or any of those people.
Yeah.
We're just a couple artists just doing our best, doing our thing, having fun, making
Yep.
stuff, putting it out there. Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say that I'm the best at anything, but we're just making stuff, and if people buy it, that's amazing. And I know at this point I'm just kind of like I put my thing out there, like who's gonna
Yeah.
buy it? Like it's just let's try this out. But so you have all these individual platforms. It's got
Hmm.
this vibe to it. As of right now, the only thing you're really seeing, like I know Super Rare is like the big top one right now. And on
Hmm.
Super, and on Super, seeing Fried Pixels, James Ramirez in the chat
Oh.
saying, "One of us, one of us." I'm gonna get James by the end of this. By the end of this stream, we're gonna get James selling some stuff.
That would be
Um,
amazing. Yeah, I mean, if we can
yeah,
get more people, honestly, if more people start doing it, it's going to force pressure on those gated walls that you're talking about.
right.
So, like, if all of a sudden some of the top artists on Instagram that people consume regularly and all the time, if a portion of them decided to start regularly not using the Instagram for the purpose of posting their artwork and just releasing it on Super Rare, that sends a very loud signal to the platform. And then all of a sudden
Yeah,
they have to think like, oh crap, we need to adjust something or else we're going to lose them. Because right now there's no they don't get reprimanded for not compensating, or there's no punishment or like any kind of negative outlash that happens when they mistreat artists right now, because a lot of us feel that we're stuck here, that there's not another option. Like this
yeah,
gated wall is so big that if you're not in it, you can't participate at all. And like I think that's like the unfair part of this. Like I
yeah,
love Instagram a lot, but I'm thinking I'm going to start using Instagram right now to market over to Super Rare and over to Known Origin and over to
yeah,
Async, and basically be like, hey, I'm gonna use this as I have attention on this platform and use attention here, and then direct it somewhere else, and then that sends a signal, hopefully, one to both artists as well as to the developers at Instagram and Facebook Reality Labs, that they're like, oh crap, artists like ourselves are going to encourage people to post their artwork other places, and that turns into actual ad revenue for them at the end of the day. So if you make really, when I go to your page and I see incredible artwork and amazing tutorials and content, I'm seeing it, but also because I'm consuming it, I'm also getting the ads that are targeted to me. And so
hmm
Instagram and Facebook, they get a lot of benefit out of having me stay on on your page and looking at your artwork. It would stress them out if like, 300,000 people right now decided to stop doing that regularly, and then all of a sudden like the content that would be here on this Instagram platform might not be all that great for a little while until they improve something. Like, okay, we came up with this thing, artists, don't leave, wait, come back, we need ad dollars, wait, don't,
yeah.
come back, get back here right now.
Get over here. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I want them to have to feel that a little bit of that stress so that they have to innovate in a positive way. So I've actively told them this, and
Oh,
I'm gonna
really?
keep. Yeah,
Okay, yeah. This is the funny thing. Was like you actually know people. You know people who know people.
yeah. Like so, like literally, I'm a Spark AR partner. So I'll just talk to them, and I'll just say, hey, this is a thing that I think we need to care about if you want to have the future of creators happy. And I'm not gonna say how they responded to that. I'm just gonna leave it. I'm just gonna leave it at that. But and so there's probably a good chance that like two of them are going to see this conversation right now. And then thank you so much for listening to this, and know that I'm very serious about about like wanting to improve the experience for artists, so that there's a need to make really good compelling content, because the other problem that I'm noticing is because we're in this walled community here on Instagram, it's stifling certain forms of creativity and expression, because people are going for what gets the most likes, which is kind of cool in the short, like dopamine releasing response of our brains. Like our brains like these like responses, and like, that's addictive. But
Yeah.
what's happening is people are trying to generate stuff that makes the most likes, not something that maybe fully expresses themselves or make something that makes them like think outside the box, because there might be, more risk involved if you try to expand your creativity into something that doesn't get the quickest like or the highest dose of likes. So like I literally see this as a problem in the long term of you'll slowly choking creativity when you have the system geared to just fuel the like circuit and not so much like creative innovation, like thinking outside the box.
Well, yeah, like that's the main critique of Instagram is it's such an echo chamber. Like you see the same style, like like, oh, astronaut renders, giant landscape with a glowing thingy on it,
Damn it,
whatever.
I love all of those, man. I
You
love
know, the
those so
funny,
much.
yeah,
I
the
want to
funny
make
part,
those, but yeah, sorry.
it's okay. The funny part is like, I spoke at a couple conferences when we actually did that sort of thing. Um,
Mhm.
and one of the questions was like, how do I develop a style or how do I get inspired and blah blah blah. It's like hard because if you think everything, like if even Pinterest, which I actually really like Pinterest versus like scrolling through Instagram because at least I can try to make like throw it off and show me other things. But for
Right.
Instagram, it's so hard to like once you start liking things, like you have to be very conscious of the things you like. It's
Yeah, you
almost like
do.
I like that thing, but I don't want to see more of this type of thing. Sorry, artist, but like I want to see other fresh things. You have to go really far out of your way to find that and to discover that because like and the problem is like I'll go out of my way, I'll find like a like a woodblock Japanese woodblock artist or something like that, the
Hmm.
Yukio A or whatever, and like I'll follow a whole bunch of them and it'll recommend a bunch of that same kind of art or
Right.
artist, but
Yeah.
then like I'll never see it show up in my feed, and like I'll notice that, because it's like I liked it
Damn.
once and then it gets lost in the flood.
Poof.
Yeah. So it's like I have to go and like seek it out again, like remember,
Hmm.
like have the saved searches and make sure I don't clear them out because it's like, oh, I haven't seen this artist in a while. And so I'll throw a wrench in the algorithm every now and then and try to follow like textile artists, sculptors,
Smart. Yeah.
painters, ceramics artists, people who make little, because I like my little characters. So I'll follow like not 3D character artists, but like illustrators, 2D illustrators, and then
Hmm.
like people who like stitch together
Wow.
little dolls and toys and stuff like that, and toy artists. Um,
Yeah.
so that's how you like it's super hard to find new things. Like you have to work at it. Like Instagram's not going to show you new stuff.
No, they're
You I'm
not. I mean, that's not what the algorithm's sorted to do. It's trying to
yeah,
keep, it assumes that what you liked before is what you want to see always.
all the time. Yeah.
And yeah, and
Every
only
single waking hour of the day.
they're like, oh, you like this? Oh, we'll give you that.
You like
Yeah.
astronauts renders? I'm going to show you 50 million astronaut.
Yeah. So like, EJ, I want to share with you a hack that I found. I want to share a hack that I found to to basically curate the feed to fight the algorithm that does that. And it's going to
Mm.
sound insane, but I've been doing it and it works. I actually haven't even shared this one out loud. I've shared it like in person with people because it sounds silly, but I'm very serious about it.
Man, I'm getting all the secrets tonight. This is great.
Well, because I think it's important for people to know. So like,
Yeah, sure.
so one thing I do, to basically force feed the Instagram sorting algorithm to give me new content that I'm interested in frequently is, I use the report feature very strategically. So when I see something that's happening too often, I report it, but I don't just report it and leave it at that. I report it and then I write a paragraph as to why I'm reporting this. So I
Oh.
write a paragraph saying, this content makes me want to leave the platform because of blah, blah, blah. I say what that is and I submit it. And this is a very loud signal on their internal team because the amount of effort it takes for someone to report something is minimal. The amount of effort to report something and leave a comment that's longer than a couple of lines, that's like they kind of gets notified a little bit higher on their back end, I believe. I'm
Hmm.
guessing this one. And the thing is, Instagram knows that just because you reported something right now once doesn't mean you're not going to want to watch it again. So what they'll do for about 2 weeks is they'll still show you stuff related to that even after you reported it. You have to report it about solidly 2 weeks. And you have to do it within the first like 2.5
3 milliseconds of it appearing on your screen. Otherwise, they're like, oh, this keeps them there. You know, they didn't complain. Cool. We'll keep feeding them the same thing because they keep eating it and they keep staying. You have to be like, you see the thing that is causing you the problem. So if you see a bunch of astronauts, I know you like the artist, you know, you respect them, but out of the in the need for the algorithm to feed you something you want, you do have to report that artist.
To like weight it, because the thing is like it's not like Twitter where you'll randomly get someone that you follow. See it on your time.
I lost you again. I heard follow. Follow.
It's not like Twitter where, you know, you're seeing people pop up in your feed that like, I don't follow that person, but someone I follow follows that person and it shows up. Like Instagram, it's just people you follow, right?
Yeah, unless you follow hashtags instead of people.
Oh, sure. That's right.
So
but as far as
sorry.
Yeah, but as far as like, I like this artist, I don't want to unfollow them, but I also don't want to see this person's astronaut renders every single day, you know, or whatever that is.
You could send them a DM before you report them.
Well, that's why I was saying, like, if you report them, does it hurt them in some way?
It depends on what you're reporting for. So they have, when you hit report, it through a few options pop up. One is like, I find it inappropriate, or one, it's against the community guidelines. One's like, so if you say it's against community guidelines, that's not going to be cool. That's going to actually hurt them. But if you report it because you don't like it, they're like, okay, we'll stop showing you that thing because you don't like it.
It's not going to penalize the actual person.
I don't think so. I mean, unless they're trying. I mean, it would hurt them if that person's trying to reach you.
I'm seeing people in the chat. Note to self: don't post astronaut renders, or I'll lose EJ. Unfollowed. I'm unfollowing you already.
Unfollowed. Yeah. That's hilarious. I know. Yeah. Post. Yeah. You want to get unfollowed? You want to be reported by me? Just post the same kind of stuff always, and I'm gonna report you. I'm gonna report your artwork to Instagram and basically be like, I want to leave, you know. Yeah. But I'm not kidding. It has been working though. Like, because right now when I go through the feed, I'm getting an endless supply of new stuff. Because every time I report something, it's like, crap, that's not what's gonna keep them here. Shoot, we got to try something else. Let's shuffle up our deck. All right, let's see if he sticks with this one. Cool, he lasted. Okay, great. Oh crap, he reported the next one. Okay, let's try something new. Is he gonna like it? What's he gonna do? Is he gonna save it? We lost him. He freaking reported. Okay, let's try it. I'm gonna go to a different deck altogether. I'm gonna pull from the shelf over here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go in the basement. And,
yeah, and they will. They have that. I mean, that data is here. So like, the problem that I see is a lot of artists don't realize how many metrics are being recorded when you use Instagram. So here's another one. I won't share the person in this case. They were saying that they didn't understand why Instagram keeps showing them. Okay, I'm going to share a story that someone shared. It's personal, but I'm going to leave your name out. So if you're listening to this after the fact, I'm so sorry, but it's so relevant right now. I'll leave your name out, but it's important. They were sharing with me that they only see in their stream right now, if they go on Instagram, all they see is half-naked redheads all the time when they're scrolling through their feed. That's the kind of content that they message me saying, I don't understand why I'm seeing this in Instagram. What do they think? Like, why am I only seeing this? And I'm like, okay, I'm going to have a serious conversation with this person. So I'm like, so-and-so, when you see a picture of someone who's half naked and also happens to have red hair, what do you do? And they're like, well, I don't like it. I'm like, cool. Do you stare at it for more than a few seconds? And the answer was, yeah, I look at it, of course. And like, oh, because it's, quote, hot. I'm like, right. And then, okay, and then how many seconds do you stay on there? You know, like a few seconds, and I'll show somebody. I'm like I'll hold, I don't share it, but I'll hold it to my buddies. I'm like, oh, okay. And then how often do you do this? Every day. Okay, so I'm going to just break the bubble for you. I'm pretty sure that you're telling a loud signal to Instagram that if they show you content like this, you are going to stay. You're also going to talk about it. You're going to show other people. You're sending the signal that content keeps you here. And from what you're telling me, it is working, and it does keep you here. So if you truly don't want to see half-naked, redheaded people on your feed as your only kind of content, you need to actually actively not look at it. or report it, or when you see it, go past it. Like, because one metric that Instagram introduced, I think in around 2015, I might have the date wrong, but to keep track of users who don't like or double tap to like or don't hit the share button or don't, they found a new way of measuring your interactions without you touching the screen. And it's fascinating. It's based off of how long it stays on your screen. And I think there was like a little exposure that happened. I don't think they wanted people to know this, but it was public, so I can share this. Everyone saw for a moment. When the images, there was a server that went down or something at Instagram at one point, and it revealed what Instagram thinks of your images as it has an AI that basically does a text decoder of every piece of content you've ever seen. So like if you were going to describe in one sentence, rocket ship in the distance, dystopian future, those words are like have been tagged, and they also use machine learning to look at images and then create a text analysis of it. So I think for about like 45 minutes one day, all posts on Instagram looked like that, where actually it didn't have the post, but it had the text descriptions of what the AI labeled it as. And it became clear as day that like Instagram's not thinking of pictures, it's thinking of like the AI, like what is the data of what you're looking at. And so I was explaining this to this individual that you keep staring at images that are probably being classified the same way over and over again on their text end. So and you keep staying. So they're gonna keep showing you that. So if you want to not see it, you have to report the next one you see within the first few seconds, and you have to actively not share it. You have to stop looking at it.
Yeah, stop showing your whole office.
Yeah, don't show your whole office something they're like, I don't know why I keep seeing it. That's all I see. It's like, well, do you hear yourself? You're telling them exactly what's working, and you got to let them know, like, hey, I'm not okay with this. And you have to be honest. You have to be loud about it. And you have to say, I don't want to see this on this platform, or I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
Because unless that's what you truly want, and you're just like, nah.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know that that's another way they do it. If you look at it for a long time, I know that like if you add it to your collections, that's like 10 likes. That's like a super like. Like I know all these little things, and this goes to, I guess, general like marketing on Instagram, which is definitely a part of this whole crypto art conversation for sure. Because I feel like if you like Beeple, like he knows all this stuff. Like he told me about the super like thing and the like if you post like post square, because if you post like an HD one, like you actually get 10% less interactions and stuff like that. And you got to do the stories and and that's all this stuff you have to remember. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like a little puzzle. But I mean, that's why I think, crypto art kind of offers a really nice window of like what it could be. What if they didn't do that kind of tracking to sort what art is shown in front of you, but rather the artists themselves, you're following it because you like it, but you're not going to get, I mean, right now, I don't think there's any ads on Super Rare or, an Origin or Async.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like, oh, I'm just kind of sharing my artwork and people want to collect it. That's so cool. That's so different. That's so weird. That's so different.
Because let's maybe get to the crypto art part of it. Like do they solely make their money off of like the fees from like gas, as well as like fees from when you actually sell? And then like as it's resold on the reselling market, do they also get a cut of that just like the artist does?
Yeah, great question. So I'm pretty sure that the gas price, so for those of you listening, gas refers to how much it costs to keep the servers running the decentralized.
I did not know this. So crazy that's what that is.
I know. Oops. Sorry, it's clicking out for a second. I lost you for a moment. I can't hear you for a moment. Okay, now I see you back.
I said I didn't know that until you explained it a couple weeks ago on that live stream where you're like, it's basically paying for the electricity for the computers to process the thing. I'm like, what?
Yeah, how weird is that? Like that
so
was
mundane. Yeah.
Someone thought like, oh, how are we going to power this system that's decentralized? Oh, it still needs electricity. And actually, a lot of the future Ethereum developers are working on making solar panel operated servers to lower the gas fee in the future, to be non-existent.
because I've seen it go up to like maybe $50 sometimes, depending on demand, which is just crazy that there's that much calculation
Yeah.
involved to do that. Like, what do you have any idea of like what's going on behind the scenes that would take that much processing power?
Yeah, so I have a little idea of it. I'm still learning it myself. My understanding is a lot of the processes that are costing that much energy are it's kind of like instead of having one computer do all the calculations, you're having to disperse many computers all taking a tiny segment of the calculation all at once. And this results in a need for like lots of distributed power management of those CPUs. The other thing is you can also mine for Bitcoin and Ethereum. And mining is when you basically use your CPU or your GPU to have it, you're putting your physical computer out just so that it can process these calculations. And that's called mining. You're helping mine, and you earn coin by basically having a computer that's helping blindly operate on these calculations. And no one can really like look into the calculation and see what it's calculating. It's just kind of doing it. I guess your question, wait, could you maybe ask that question one more time? I think I
It's
lost
just
you.
like I feel like it's like a very expensive render farm where you send
Yes.
your render to a bunch of computers, and like if you want it rendered in, because what it takes, for it to do the thing where it uploads and mints and all that stuff. So you're paying like it's
Yes.
like a very expensive render for 15 seconds, and sometimes it costs $8, sometimes it costs 15.
I think that's a
Changes all
great
the time, like
example.
changes second to second. It feels like.
Honestly, that's a brilliant example. It is like a render farm. It's like the calculations are going to vary based off like how much power is needed. And so the gas fee can fluctuate, but I'm pretty sure the gas fee does not go to the actual like crypto art marketplaces. Your other question though was how does like a crypto art marketplace, how do they,
Oh,
there's
how
no
do they get
ads.
their, yeah, like how are they making their cut, or making, like, how is it profitable for them to do this in the first place?
Yeah, so they make their money when your artwork sells. So they do take a percentage from hosting. And why
Hmm.
you're paying them is they are doing this thing called minting. And minting is a weird word I did not understand a few months ago. But minting is when you take a piece of digital artwork and you give it a blockchain identifier that basically says that this is the original. And that basically they call it minting because like minting is like printing money, is how you mint money. So it's kind of like
Oh,
when you mint, yeah. So it's basing it off. I think I'm guessing that one from. I feel like that's what it's doing. When you make money, like we call it the mint, at least in the U.S. When they're printing money, they're minting money. And so when you try to put your artwork on the blockchain, that's actually a really complicated process. And Super Rare is doing that for you, and Known Origin is doing that for you. And also, I just learned recently, Ethereum is not just a cryptocurrency. It's actually a platform, a scripting platform. I didn't,
interesting.
this blew my mind, but it explains why it's blowing up so much. Um, I've been watching I've been researching a lot of who the founder of Ethereum is. Um, might blow your mind how young they are. Any guesses?
Oh God, like teenagers. I don't know.
You're close. The kid's, I think he's about 20, he's either 25 or 26 now. He's the
That's
founder of Ethereum. His name's Vitalik Buterin, and I've been listening to a lot of his talks. He's been interviewed in lots of places. I've been trying to understand what's the philosophy behind this, because like you invented a decentralized currency for the world. What? Let's talk about this. What do you mean? And it's fascinating, but he explains in detail. I didn't realize this from listening to his talk from the Lex Friedman podcast. I didn't realize until hearing it that Ethereum is not just a cryptocurrency. So it's not just like another Bitcoin. It's not just another crypto. So what it means is a scripting platform. And I can break it down like this. He basically says that when you think of Bitcoin, it's, you can trade with it. And he said a big problem with Bitcoin is it's very complicated to build tools that use it. So like there's not a common language for how you code, how you make a payment system that works with Bitcoin. You have to make like a kind of unique solution per each tool. Like if an art market wants to do there, and maybe you want to do sales here, they all have to make a unique like coding solution for that Bitcoin thing. So Vitalik Buterin, back in the early days, as in 2011, early days of crypto. I know. It's so recent. It's so freaking recent.
Yeah.
Um, he was actually a writer for Bitcoin magazine, and he was being paid in Bitcoin.
There's a
Now,
Bitcoin magazine? What the heck?
yeah, I didn't know this either. I learned all this from listening to him talk, and he was getting
Wow.
paid in crypto, and he had like some ideas about how Bitcoin could be better, and he pitched it to the people that are writing Bitcoin magazine, and they're like, "That's way too complicated. No, no, no. We're gonna just keep doing it the way we've been doing it because that's gonna work." And he's like, "Okay," and then he's like, I'm going to do it my own. I'm going to make something that's more efficient than Bitcoin. At basically said what Bitcoin lacks is a scripting language. So it's very hard for people to develop tools that use Bitcoin because each one needs a unique solution. So what Ethereum is, he gave the analogy of it's what the iPhone did to App Store. So lots of companies before Apple and the Apple Store, the App Store, they would try to make programs for your phone. But Apple made a language called Swift that people could code on and easily integrate it together. Like if you coded your program like Uber or Instagram or Facebook or Yelp, if you coded it in Swift, it's going to work on the iPhone. It's going to work on every iPhone. You don't have to make a unique solution for every single device because, you made it in Swift. Ethereum is the scripting language. It's a universal scripting language for cryptocurrency. And so that's why all these companies are using Ethereum as the payment system, because they have a language, they have a common language on how you can use it and plug it into your tool. That's where we got known origin and super rare and async coming in, because they're like, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We can just build on the Ethereum scripting language and just plug and play our tool. We want to use it for art.
Okay, that makes sense that all these crypto art sites are using that. And like,
Yeah,
it's
I was
not,
wondering.
yeah. And I think, and I don't know if you know, but I know that the Nifty site that Beeple's on, that you can actually pay with credit cards.
Yeah, that blows my mind because I
Yeah.
think that's made by two American founders for Nifty Gateway who make
Yeah.
that one. Yeah, I
Now,
don't
why,
fully understand that.
and why can't, because I mean,
Yeah.
so we can talk about like some of the barriers, right?
Sure.
And one of them is just like, you can't, number one, if you want to buy them, like people have to be knowledgeable. And I was just talking with people today about this. It's like one of the major barriers is that these people that make these platforms are too smart for their own good. Like you're the first person that has described this whole process to me in terms that I can understand, like a normal human being that hasn't gone to MIT that can
Right.
understand. And when you go on some of these sites like Known Origin or Super Rare, and
Oops, I lost you for a second. Sorry, I just
sorry.
lost the connection for a second. And you said when you go to these sites like Super Rare and Known Origin.
Let me know when I'm back. Am I back? I
You're
think I'm
back. You're back.
Yeah.
You're back.
So one of the hardest things is like you go to these FAQs, right? And like they are written from the get-go, like you know what the hell's going on. Like that you know what all this
NFT.
lingo is, like you know what a gas fee is. Like, and then if you want to find out what a gas fee is, click this link of this like giant, this page with all this, of all this things that make no sense to me. And it's like, what is up with it? And people said that's one of the hardest things he's been trying to talk to the Nifty people about is like, you guys need to like make this understandable for normal people. Because if you think about it, the barriers for the even the artists, like for me, I had to know someone else that did it before to explain to me how to do it. And like the process, like first you have to have a crypto wallet, and then the crypto wallet,
Right.
you have to sign up for Coinbase because I have no cryptocurrency, and like
Right.
all these sites assume that you're already down on the cryptocurrency lingo, and so many people, like this was my first, like I own Ethereum now. I've never owned Bitcoin or anything in my life, and so I had to like learn this on the fly. So I think, yeah, it's a walled garden. Yes, you have to get approval, but I think that's good that that's there. Like, I think it should be less like what's in it for us, the platform,
Sure.
and more about just authentication and authenticity. Like, are you actually this artist doing this thing? Because I feel like some sites do this better than others. Like, for known origin, I just kind of like, this is my Instagram page, this is my email,
Show them your stuff.
and show them your stuff. Super rare. Like I actually had to do like a iPhone interview kind of thing where it's like, this is me, this is my Instagram page.
That's
like,
me. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I lost you. I lost connection again. Sorry about that. You said you have to do an interview, almost like on an iPhone interview.
Yeah, and that's really good though, right? Because you know that like that's harder. I mean, you could still, I'm sure, figure out a way to pretend that you're someone else, you know. But so there's that, and then there's the barrier for number one, people to find you, because I feel as of right now.
Oh, good point.
It's like
hard.
Yeah, like the only people down on this are other artists. So like it's
For
only
now.
other artists. Yeah,
Yeah.
for now it's only other artists. So it's not like Instagram yet, where you have so many people on this platform that don't do art. They're just taking selfies or taking photos of the awesome beach they're at right now, or the food they're eating, whatever. Like I think there's got to be like, it'll be interesting to see how like some of these sites. It's like you almost need. Can you sell a photo of the hamburger that you're eating at a restaurant and get like, this is my photo of my hamburger I'm eating, and buy this?
Yes, you can. And I'm not kidding. That is for real.
I've seen, what the heck did I see? Some musical artist sold something, and it wasn't their song. It was, I don't know what it was. But is it like, are celebrities going to start getting into like, you know how they have Cameo, you know? Like what if they did like
gonna pop in real quick.
Yeah, what if it was a cameo, but you actually owned that video of this artist, or maybe they sang a song and that version of that song, like I could buy that, you know?
Yeah, so as a heads up with that, right now, because we are kind of in the Wild West, I feel, of this crypto art space, there's going to be a lot of people breaking the law when they're posting and minting their artwork. And so right now I would say I would say don't, in my opinion, this is an opinion, not a fact. I would say if you're going to make artwork on crypto art spaces right now, oh, sorry, I think you froze for a second. Can you hear me?
I can still hear you. Yeah, I can still hear
great.
you. Yeah, every time it freezes, I can still hear. Yeah.
Okay, great. So if you're going to be posting artwork right now, you have to really legitimately own everything in there. Because I think what's going to happen is if you have some artwork where you did a cameo of some celebrity and this becomes as large as I see it growing in the near future, they're going to come and fight you. They're going to attack you legally, and you'll be screwed at that point, because these pieces grow in value with time. You know, like, because like if I buy it for 1 Ethereum and then I resell it for 2 Ethereum, and each time I'm doing that, the artist gets a royalty every time I resell it. This piece grows in value over time, and the owner keeps handing it off. But the artist, the original artist, is tied to that. So if the original artist broke the law today, and then in 10 years from now,
it could trace it
selling
back
for millions of dollars, millions of Ethereum, they're going to look back and be like, hey, I'm the artist that was in that piece and I was not compensated, and I'm coming for you. In fact, I read carefully before I signed their agreement. I'm like one of those weird people who actually reads the full license agreement when I try something new. It's weird. But I read the full one for Super Rare, and it said, like, they're not liable if you break the law when you mint something. So that is going to be on the artist. So if you're an artist who's like, oh, other people, because here's the thing, other people are breaking the law right now when they're posting their artwork, and they might like feature something, or they take an idea, or it's tough because like it's okay right now. So I think it's going to work fine for like at least the next 3 years. You can probably get away with that. But in the long term, if you're doing that, it's going to really bite you, because it's going to get really weird because somebody owns it. Somebody else owns it. Yeah,
man.
It just can be really messy.
Beeple.
Oops, sorry, I lost you for a second.
I said,
I heard you say Beeple. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, Beeple is going to be screwed because he's got like Pikachu models in his thing. He's got Mickey Mouse. He's got Michael Jackson. He's got Donald Trump. He's got all these like things that are trademarked in his renders. So it's like a Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda's in a bunch of his things. Jabba the Hutt. Like,
It works for now.
yeah, like Disney sued someone at a birthday party because they put a Mickey Mouse thing on there, and it was like you didn't get permission to have a Mickey Mouse poster on your wall.
Yeah.
So that part is always interesting to me. Is
the long tail, man, is bad in that case.
yeah.
Like the thing is, it works right now, but the problem is somebody owns those pieces. Someone owns the actual IP of those things. So like in the long run, if someone gets greedy, which people tend to do when they're not feeling too hot, someone greedy who owns that, who's part of the ownership of that IP they're gonna probably try to attack, and maybe he'll be fine, you know. But that just, for me, it just sounds like a total headache to have to deal with. Like I would love to post a cool Pikachu render and like do something cool with it. And sometimes I still will, but I'm not going to mint anything like that right now, because that's actually selling the artwork. When I post it kind of for free, in a sense, on Instagram, where I'm not actually making money off of it, I kind of feel safer posting something that's not my IP, because it's like, worst case scenario, I will take it down if I needed to.
Well, that goes into the whole Creative Commons thing, because this is a whole new territory, because you're not licensing a song for a client that, you know, you buy a certain license. This is literally like, I license, use a model from Turbo Squid, and then I add audio to it, or Shutterstock, or whatever the hell. Like, what are the terms for on Cryptoart? It's almost like, the laws probably don't exist right now.
Not at all. And
but eventually they will. Yeah.
They'll catch up, and then by that point, there'll be a few casualties, in the sense we'll find a few huge artists that get hit very, very hard from this.
Yeah, because they're using the likenesses. Yeah, like someone just mentioned in the chat. Like that's
Yeah, everything gets regulated. Even Bitcoin, you know, is getting regulated now, which is nuts, because it's supposed to be not. You know, it's decentralized. No one owns it. How is it getting regulated? Somehow it catches up. I want to be conscious of your time. Are you still good for time, or?
Oh no, we're still. I'm energized. This conversations keep me going.
Okay, great. Just wanted to check in and make sure.
I do want to ask about. So I guess this can lead into like the marketing thing. Like, I find it interesting that like some of the artists that are doing so good right now, it's like this is where the everyday artist is cashing in. You know, everyone that like
Where?
Everyone's cashing in on the on Cryptoart.
Oh, sorry, got it.
Because they've been producing, they've been making stuff every day or very consistently. They've built up their presence, their social media presence. It's almost like these people, but like Beeple is, you can argue he's like a brand now. And now he's selling this stuff, and now he's even gone, and this can go in the whole marketing conversation, he's gone to the point where tomorrow he is selling physical screens that you can buy, and it has the QR code that if you scan it, goes to the Nifty Gateway site and shows the page where you own it, right? Awesome. And embedded in it is the actual like NFT, the non-fungible token thing is embedded like in the, I don't know. I guess I have no idea.
Oh, I lost you again. Man, maybe my internet's bad. Okay, now
it might be mine. It might be mine. But that's that thing where it's like, okay, that is where it's no longer this thing that I can't see or can't touch. But now there's a physical component where I could put it, like I could buy it tomorrow and put it right back here. And that's and it's a physical thing that he signed, like people signed it. And that's pretty cool too, because who knows how much that thing is going to be worth, you know, like if he ends up in the MoMA someday. I'm telling you right now, let's come back to this like 30, 40 years later.
Okay.
Beeple is going to be in art history books someday. I'm telling you. Guaranteed.
I'm down with that. Yeah, I see it. It makes sense. Every artist, you know, of every time that is huge and known at the time is usually like ahead of the curve, you know,
Yeah.
when they're super innovative and like thinking about art differently. Beeple is that
Yeah.
person.
No, because I asked him, I was talking to him today because I was like, okay, what is this thing? Like, is it, I hope I didn't break up or anything. I think I'm back.
Oh, you're good.
Cool. I was like, what is this thing? Is it just like a render of a like glass cased screen and that's just the thing? He's like, no, there's actual physical component. And I was like, oh, did you work? Is that something that like Nifty is doing and they're offering that? He's like, no, like I'm doing that all myself. I pitched it to Nifty and at first they didn't get it. And I'm like, oh, like goes back to my thing where I was like, there's a giant disconnect between the people that run these sites and artists and the people that would actually buy the thing that is trying to make sense of it all. Like when you think this is like the first step is like, yeah, you get a trading card, or, you know, like actually have something.
I think for me to answer that question, I think it starts with us, literally people like yourselves and I having conversations, trying to translate, because that's usually, at least for me, that's like I'm really familiar in my workspace. You know, there's really complicated tools and technology that I have to translate to completely new artists, and like, you know, and I see it in your work. You know, you're taking very complicated concepts in like tools that I've seen you train on, and then breaking it down to like, oh, you can actually manage this. This is we can get it now. So
yeah,
I'm not holding them responsible for translating, because up until literally 3 months ago, this space was super niche, and like only the people in that space were the ones that understood that language. Right. Now, 3 months later, there's a whole different need to communicate what is crypto art, but they're not staffed for that yet, you know, because this is like, whoa, what happened? Why, like everyone's on board now? Okay, let's stop using all of our coded cryptic language.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You know, because like same for me, like I guess what really helped me connect it, you know, someone helped translate it for me. You know, it was Lady Phoenix. That's what they go by on Instagram, and Joy, John Orion Young. Those two folks for me, like, were the first time I heard about crypto art in a way that I'm like, oh my goodness, why have I not thought about this? And it was because it wasn't communicated to me in a way that I could understand. As soon as I started to understand, I'm like, this is very big. This is not a small thing. The potential for here is, like, I'll give you an example. There's an artist, they're growing up very much in popularity in the crypto art space, named, oh man, I'm gonna butcher their name. It's not Coldy, it's a person, Furocious. Furocious. Have you seen that name appear anywhere? So they're fascinating to me. They're about, I think they're still in high school right now, but their work is selling, and it's brilliant, and they get the space. And like, they just tried something and now they're growing very large on Twitter for their artwork. And why I bring them up is in one of the interviews, they're asking like, what can you do with this technology? Because they were thinking like, oh, it's just for crypto art. Because this person's like a high school student. They're trying to like, they're not, you know, they're just into the space. They got to a big celebrity status in the crypto art world right now, but they're still kind of learning it. And someone said like, in that interview, Furocious mentioned that, you know, they're hoping that they can use some of the crypto money to buy a better render station because they would love to use more 3D tools. And right then, the person that was interviewing them was like, you know, you can use crypto to actually reserve render farms now.
Oh, sure, yeah.
I didn't know that. I never heard of that. I'm like, oh my God, you mean you can like, you can't afford a computer and you don't have a physical computer, but you can make money from a virtual currency and use that to translate to actual render time for your artwork. For me, that was just like, this is so, I mean, you can do so much with blockchain technology. It's not at face value. It's not just about, I mean, I love it for the art, and that's kind of how I'm going to help kind of draw people into it. But I want people to see this has a way bigger potential than just art. This can change a lot. Any comments on that?
Well, I think and someone just mentioned it. It's I think is it Otoys, render, RNDR, and it's like their whole cloud rendering platform, but you can also pay with it's also a cryptocurrency.
I did not know this. This is totally news
Yeah,
to me. For real? Otoy is
yeah.
doing this?
I think it's Otoy. Whoever in the chat, I think it's them because they also that's their render farm. Yeah, so
Oh,
they're
sorry.
they're
There's a
saying yeah,
question about how to spell ferocious. Let me Google it. I don't want to butcher it.
good call.
Ferocious. Their name is. Oh, it keeps autocorrecting to ferocious. It's not.
Yeah,
It's ferocious.
it's
Twitter.
not talking the crypto, man.
Right. Let me do Cryptoart. Found it. Nope. Didn't find them. Ah,
Yep, Otoy.
I'm sorry. I can't find them yet. For those that were asking, you might have to DM me and I'll remember better then. Look up Few, Few,
Someone, yeah,
Rocius,
Arenas. What's
ferocious.
up, buddy? Good to see you. Yeah, I think
Should,
he just posted in there.
oh, did someone answer it?
Few,
Fewocious. Let me double check if
Fewocious.
that's correct. Few. Thank you, Arenas VFX. Let me check. Fewocious. Enter. Yes, that's them.
That's it.
Yay. Yes.
Nice.
So Fewocious. It's their work is awesome, and their authority in crypto art space is so fascinating to me and very inspiring. So you should definitely look them up. Fewocious. Thank you. Um,
So like, so for someone like that, I mean, they're in high school, right? Like, that's the fascinating point of all of this is like we have our circle. Like you probably have a different kind of like we have the Venn diagram thing where we have that crossover, right? But you
yeah.
have like more of the tech world and Spark and AR and da da da. And I'm more of the motion graphics side. And it's like I'm starting to see like you can actually post GLB files like these AR format kind of stuff, which is super interesting. Have you done that yet, by the way?
I'm about to. I'm about
Okay,
to. I haven't
I'm
launched it
really
yet.
interested to see how that all works. I assume it's just like you go have the website and you can just interact with it or whatever, turn it around, spin it.
Yeah, I think it's like a minimal viewer. It might almost be like a Sketchfab kind of viewer, where it's
Okay,
like it
sure.
just plays in the browser and you can navigate the asset. I'm happy you brought that up because one thing I haven't talked about a lot yet, which is kind of what I want to bring to the crypto art space, is I think this might be the perfect payment system for augmented reality. So
Very
imagine,
interesting.
let's say you have this really cool cat that does this I saw you do your artwork.
Yep.
I love that piece, the gold and the black materials in it.
My Genesis piece, my first one, yes.
Yeah, I didn't even know what that term meant when they were like, "This is your Genesis piece." I'm like, I didn't call it Genesis. I thought it was like
Yeah, right.
the title. And then later learn like, oh, Genesis is like your first crypto art piece.
Yeah.
It's your Genesis piece. But with your piece, for example, you have a really cool cat asset and it's golden. What I'm thinking would be amazing is I'm walking down the street and this geolocation has is an iDesign exhibit that is live right now, and I hold up my phone and I see your virtual assets floating around a location that you were part of. You decided like this, I want to have an art gallery, an AR art gallery pop up at this, at every street corner within this neighborhood or something. You look through your phone and you're looking through it and you see your artwork and someone can like walk up to it, it's world tracking and they're like, oh my God, this is so cool. Looking around it. If they hover down below it, they see who owns it. So it says the artist who created it and next to it says who currently owns it. And they're like, wait, I want to own it. Is it open for bids? They tap on the asset and it says you can bid right now with ETH. And you bid right there on this virtual asset that's floating in space, but it's
Mm-hmm.
your artwork. And someone like sees this, because I think that could totally just bridge physical art and digital art. That would totally disrupt things if you could display. Because right now my biggest problem with a lot of the crypto art marketplaces is how do you display it in a way that's friendly for everyday people?
Yeah.
It's not friendly right now at all, at all. Because like you have to go through a browser and maybe there's like a lot of different sites. They're cool for being a niche thing. But if this thing needs to grow to actually be like a real player,
it can't just be the people that are down with the lingo. It's got to be as open as Instagram.
Right. Yeah. I mean, honestly, sorry, I think I lost you again. Oh, there you are.
So it's got to,
Um,
yeah, it's got to be as open as Instagram is and attract millions of users, you know?
yeah, to be honest, I was scared I wasn't going to get accepted as an artist because I thought my content might be too, like, I'm going to put this in air quotes, like mainstream, where it's like I put a face, because a lot of folks, they don't share their true identity and they sell crypto art. So,
Oh,
like, that's
interesting.
also a taboo. Yeah. So,
Which is so
cryptocurrency,
different from what, like every day people are posting, "Hey, this is my Twitter. This is my art. Go buy it." Yeah.
yeah, like, there's like, I'm noticing there's like two philosophies, not two, many philosophies, but one of them is like being anonymous is like a big foundation of crypto at its core, of the ability to be an anonymous entity that can like have freedom. And so I felt like, is it weird that I'm going to put my face on I had a question, should I put my face as my profile image on Super Rare, or is
Oh,
that
sure.
taboo? Because are you supposed to be an alias? And the thing is, I could have another account that is an alias that I don't tell anybody about, and I could be
Yeah.
selling artwork, earning currency, and be like a ghost, which I might do. Just throwing it out
Yeah.
there. And so like it's a different philosophy on, ownership. It almost reminds me of like writers or like, song artists who wrote your favorite pop songs, but they were ghost
Oh,
writers.
the Ghost Rider.
You never heard them, you didn't know their name, but you loved their music. You shared their music and the songs meant a lot to you, and you're like, singing their words. But the actual person who wrote that was like, hands off. No
Yeah. Yeah.
idea who that is.
And they don't
Not
care that
connecting.
they don't get the credit for it. You know, it's like Banksy. Like no one knows who the hell that is.
Yeah, or how
Someone
many
told,
people are Banksy?
yeah, someone told me about some short film that was about like a Banksy type thing where they
Hmm.
set up an art gallery. Do you
No, I'm not familiar with this one. Sorry, I think I lost your connection again. Oh, there you are.
It's called Through the Back Door, maybe, or something like
Ah,
that.
yes.
Have
Yeah,
you heard
through the gift
about
shop.
this?
Through the gift shop. I heard of it. I haven't seen it. Or no, exit through the gift shop.
Exit Through the Gift Shop. Yeah, yeah. I knew it was going somewhere, exiting somewhere.
Yeah. What's it about? I have not seen it actually.
I don't. I've just been told to watch it,
I
but
think
it's
we should
about
both watch it.
like
Yeah.
yeah, it's about like they don't know if it's about Banksy or if Banksy did it, but it's basically someone that created an art gallery claiming it was all his work or that
Oh,
person's work, and they got busted. And yeah, exit through the gift shop. Yeah,
wait. So let me hear this right. So basically, the concept is someone made a gallery of artwork that they had stolen.
It's basically someone that's taking credit for saying that he made all this work. So it's like if you were a crypto artist and all you really did was just upload other people's art, you know, and
Oh,
claiming it was yours.
I heard there was a scare that happened on one of the big platforms, one of the big crypto art platforms, where someone did that.
Imposter
Someone
syndrome.
took, what do we have? Oh, we got
Someone in the chat said it's about imposter syndrome, like actually impostoring someone.
That's
That's great.
amazing. Yeah, oh yeah, I guess should we take, there's a couple of questions I'm getting in the
Talks
feed
about a
here.
different graffiti artist and how one guy stole the art. Interesting.
Yeah, oh, that
So,
reminded me.
yeah.
Yeah, they have that's been a problem where someone took another crypto artist's work and then they remixed it. So they treated it like remix culture and they added their twist to it. They
Hmm.
re-uploaded it as an original piece of artwork because the remix is what they were saying they owned. It
Mm.
resold for way more than the original, and the
Wow.
original artist saw this happen and freaked out, and it screwed with the system because they're like, wait a second. And here's the problem. There's no regulation on Ethereum and crypto art right now. So like that stuff is probably going to happen a lot right now, maybe, because like they're just kind of, there's no, there's no, I don't know if there's totally like actual legal accountability. There's just social accountability at this point. Like I think the
Hmm.
person who did that has been discovered and they've been shunned, so that maybe the value of the work has gone down. But it's almost like a social credit system at that point where it's like, oh, we don't respect artists who steal other artists' work because that's killing the space.
Yeah, it's so interesting because it's like, what's that line? Because like on Dribble, for example, you have
Oh
rebounds
yeah.
where it's like, oh, I was based on this thing and I made it, da da da. Or even and another thing that I'm seeing, which is like when I first started learning about this crypto art thing, I poo-pooed it because I'm
Hmm.
like, I'm literally seeing people do like Jonathan Winbush has a tutorial on something. He's like, someone literally just made the thing I made in my tutorial and like sold it. And I'm like, well, that sucks.
Wait, really? Wait, how do you say that? You
Yeah.
said someone made, I didn't catch
So
that.
so it's like he made a tutorial showing how to
Hmm.
do a thing. I think it was
Cool.
like a liquid X particles thing, and dude
Right?
literally, yeah, like took that same thing and
Uh-huh.
made it and sold it. So it's like that fine line.
Damn.
Like if I tell you how to do something, right? I'm teaching you a technique. I build like a torus and it fractures and it's marble texture. Like someone could literally just do that. Like I provide project files. Like what's keeping them from doing
Nothing.
that and uploading? Like because they could like oh
Nothing's
like
keeping them. Nothing.
yeah.
I mean,
So
I'll
it's
be honest. Nothing's keeping them from it. There's not a.
yeah.
There's no regulation yet.
So basically, I need to just like upload all my tutorial stuff like right now.
I mean, I know this might sound crazy, but like, why not?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
like, because like I mean, I kind of listened to a talk from Tesla. He was speaking at the Navy Force like a year ago,
Hmm.
and he had a like they were asking like the head of the Navy was asking, how do you protect your trade secrets and all this technology that you develop at Tesla? And he's just like, we don't. We open source all the research we do.
Oh, sure. Yeah. They want everyone to be making, yeah, electric. Yeah.
And so part of me was like, I I really agree with that. Like in my mind, at least with the work that I do, I try to like open source the knowledge, and if someone makes a killing off of what I'm showing them, I'm like excited because it's like, yeah, like you did it. Like you
Yeah.
took knowledge and you've like manifested something from it. And if it's super easy for them to do that, I mean, like I have to just keep innovating. I feel maybe that's just me, but I feel like it's my responsibility as an artist. I have to keep innovating. If they're gonna just you know
Well, it's like, yeah, it's like, oh, you just have that arrow in your quiver and that's it. Like, no, of course not. Like, yeah, I made a few tutorials, and if someone wants to sell it, so good for them. Like
yeah, like
it's
I've
all for
seen
yeah.
oh sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was saying like I've seen like I see some people not seen. I've talked to many artists who see somebody copy their style and or like mimic something that they did, and they get furious and have a big rant online, and they attack the artist, they threaten them, say you better remove that, that's my style. And like I gotta be honest, I totally disagree with them on doing that. It's like you decided to share this thing, you inspired somebody. That's awesome that they were so inspired that they wanted to make something like it.
Yeah.
And if you're just going to attack people who take inspiration from your work, maybe don't share your work publicly. Make it private artwork, that you don't sell or distribute.
Yeah. I mean, that's like
Or is
if you
that
make
extreme?
a
Is that too
yeah, like
extreme?
no, it's like if you make a course, right? Like people are gonna rip it off and sell it on CG.
Oops,
But
sorry, I
that
lost the connection. You said they'll
oh,
sell it on CG Trader, I'm guessing, or what'd you say?
oh, I was saying like if there's so many like some of my classes that are paid or some like all of my products that I sell on my page right now are
Yeah.
probably on some pirate site, right? But I'm not going to
Right.
let that like totally not like that's not I'm not going to totally freeze up and not create anything anymore. Like with artists, like if someone steals your style, what are you going to never create again because you don't want
Some
someone to
people
steal
think
something?
that way,
Yeah, it's
oddly, and I
crazy.
disagree with it. At least, like,
Well, it's like a yeah, scarcity
yeah, it's like this
scenario.
mindset. Yeah, it's like operating from a place of scarcity versus
Yeah.
operating from a place of abundance, where they're just
Yep.
like, I have nothing now because you've taken my one piece that I spent time on.
Yeah.
And like, if you're gonna freak out and like lose your cool over the fact that someone took one of your pieces, like I understand the feeling. It can hurt, and I think that's real, and like it should hurt a little bit. But I also think you don't just stop right there. That's like the start. You're human. You're going, oh,
Yeah.
that was my baby, and you just stole my baby and just put it out there without me. You're
Yeah.
gonna feel it, and then I say the next step is cool. Feel it, embrace that feeling. Now, how do you adapt?
Yeah,
What are you
yeah,
gonna do about it? Are you
yeah.
gonna stop making artwork now?
Yeah, just that fate, that scarcity mindset where everything you do is so precious, and it's not like yeah, that's the only thing you can ever do. Uh, I mean, like if you're confident as an artist, you shouldn't worry about it. You know, at the end of the
That's the problem right
like
there.
what are you gonna do? Like you can come at it from a positive, like someone said in the chat, you can come at it in negativity, at a negative angle or a positive angle, like well, hey, you know, if people are pirating my stuff, that must mean the stuff I'm doing is useful. And you know what? There's enough people out there that truly want to support what I'm doing and appreciate and put value on what I'm doing, that's going to offset whatever. And at the end of the day, the people that are
Hmm.
pirating or whatever aren't going to buy the stuff.
Right, they weren't gonna buy it anyway.
Now, there is a fine line because I
Sure.
think we do see this a lot where someone
Hmm.
will post other work and and claim that it's theirs, then be totally shameless about it, and then I
Right.
think it's totally okay for people to just totally pile on that person, be like, "What are you doing? Like, that's not cool." But if
Yeah,
it's
that makes
like,
sense to me too for some reason. Yeah, I
yeah,
agree with
like,
that.
but it's another thing where it's like, "Hey, I'm doing this." Like I see people like if my style giant eyeballs on characters or whatever. I see that all the time, and I love that because like number one, I don't think I have like I like creating characters that way, but like my everything's a remix, right? Like I borrowed the giant eyes and the style of characters I make from like a few different artists, and I bring it together, take the bits and pieces that I enjoy and looks
Hmm.
good to me, and I make my own thing. And you
Yeah.
know, it's definitely cool to like have something that you know you like and go down that
Hmm.
path. Like even if you don't have a style, like everyone has their own taste. So like David Area, for example, like he loves the you know a certain type of aesthetic that is like the cyberpunk and da da da
Yeah,
da.
I love
And
that
like
book, by the way. But yeah. Hmm.
even though he didn't invent that style, I would say he has a certain
Oh.
like lighting style though, you know, where if I look, I'm
Yeah.
like, I think David lit that because he's got a certain way that he lights and he's got a certain eye for that, you know.
You can even
So
see
you,
how someone frames something and be like, oh, that's framed like a piece that people would do, but
yeah,
using your own assets and concepts.
for sure,
You
for
know, that's
sure.
the same kind of like, there's all these different little values and merits that people put their spin on. But it's a tough, you said it's a fine line, and I fully agree. Like remix culture is a fine line because what's considered a remix to you is like, oh, this is clearly a remix. Might be not somebody's remix. They'll say that's a ripoff. And you're like, you're both talking about the same artwork. And you're like,
Yeah,
well, this one's clearly a remix. Well, no, this one's clearly a ripoff. And you're like, it's subjective at the end of the day.
yeah.
It's
It's
like
like,
how much, we all use red, green, and blue pixels.
I own that blue. Can't use
That's
that
my
blue
blue.
anymore.
You can't use it.
Yeah,
I saw you use that blue. I saw it on one in the corner there. Yeah,
yeah,
that's my blue.
yeah,
You chose to put a red, at at 255 value. I own that. I own that
yeah.
red.
Now
Brands try
here's
to do that.
what's that? Go
Like
ahead. Oh,
big brands
brands
try
will,
to do
yeah, they'll
that. Like
trademark a
Coca-Cola
certain
red.
color. Yep, yep.
But
Crazy.
like, okay, like it kind of like the colors exist in nature before brands. And like when
Yeah.
you look at the wavelength of energy, it's like you're owning.
A
How do you own a
wavelength. Yeah.
wavelength of,
Let
of
me
energy?
mint this wavelength. Yeah.
I own that wavelength. That's mine. That's
Yeah.
light. I own the light. Like when I feel like when you think about it that way, like ownership is really silly in like the broadest of broad scales. Ownership, in my perception, is just in our minds. If you agree that I own it and I agree that I own it, then I own it. But if everyone collectively agrees that you don't own it, all of a sudden, like what is ownership?
It's
It's
yeah,
just
it's what everyone else thinks. Like you almost have to do a campaign, like a campaign to say that hey, that's my thing.
that's mine. I put a
Yeah.
flag on it.
And
I
it's
own
also
that
like how
land.
much money do you have to throw behind it too? You see that with big
Bingo.
companies and little companies all the time.
Yeah, because right now ownership is like it's dollars in many countries.
I have all the lawyers that say that's mine. You have no lawyers, so it's mine.
It's clearly mine. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I think this whole crypto art space throws off is the model of what is ownership. which I kind of love because it makes you have to have a dialogue about like, what does it mean to own something? And it kind of forces you to have a thought about it. Like, why do we own things? And, why did someone spend
Yeah, why do people buy things? Yeah.
$10,000 on something to own pixels on a screen when they don't get to hold it? And it's because there's something about intrinsic value. Like if it's subjective, but if you in your heart are like, it's valuable to me, that's why I collected it.
I mean, someone would spend $10,000 on a bottle of wine and drink it and it's gone, but they still spent $10,000, so it was worth it to them. And that's not even ones and zeros that are around for as long as computers are around.
Right, until we get the giant solar flare that wipes out all farms and all Ethereum is gone. One solar flare on every
everything's
computer
gone
in the decentralized network.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Sorry.
We're trying to get people into this, man.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, what I'll help do is I'll try to make a moon-based decentralized network so at least you can
we'll
have
get Elon Musk on that. We'll have it on Mars. Yeah, that's really what he's doing. Yeah,
it's all for the crypto art. That's clearly why we're going to Mars. There's no other reason.
So here's a crypto art question for you. Do you think we just wrapped up this very long podcast, end of year podcast at School of Motion that should hopefully be out soon, and I brought up the whole crypto art thing and brought up a lot of the points that are from you. Definitely plugged you. So. Do you think, because we were talking about trends and stuff like that, I was like, do you think, is crypto art, in your opinion, a style of art? Because I feel like for Super Rare, for example, I feel like there is a certain aesthetic to the artists that get accepted. Now, that all blew up in my face when I got accepted last week.
And they're like, oh.
Right. But who they're pushing, I feel like, is like the well-known everyday artists, the hood asses, the people that make those, skull renders and snakes and the, that kind of, type of vapor wavy kind of art.
Yeah. So, sorry, you cut out for a second. There you are.
So I wonder if that is like a style. Is that, I feel like that could almost, like, if you want to predict what's going to be an art style in 2021, it's going to be like, well, what are the crypto artists doing? Because like, it's almost like, I just thought, like, people are throwing money at the style that they enjoy. So it's like, oh, well, it's almost like but it's all self-motivated. It's all the artist's voice. It's not a client saying, hey, make this for me. And a studio is like, hey, let me pitch this look for you. It's art. So if anything, like, I'm almost like, our style's going to evolve even faster now?
Yeah. So my thought on that is right now there is a look to crypto art, and it's because all these, well, not all of them, but most of the larger marketplaces for crypto art are in a model where they're trying to nurture the environment to fuel the growth of the art community. And in that process of them trying to nurture, they are selecting. There is humans actively selecting what gets in and what doesn't, which is gatekeepers. And all of them, I don't think, want to be gatekeepers in the long run, but they believe, I think they believe that right now they have to be a kind of a gatekeeper to make sure that the community is kind of fostered in a way that is not going to be destructive and like ruin what crypto art can be. So right now they're being subjective. So it's going to have a style. It's going to have what is the preferences of the creators and the people approving. That's going to be the look.
It's like a record label, right? Like you want to get the big act so you can attract more,
Right. And I think if they heard you say that, which they're definitely going to hear you say that, because I'm going to tell them that you said that.
Oh, crap. Am I going to get banned?
No. Instead, because I think they want to nurture the community. And that's a fact. Like, if people like us start calling them record labels, that is completely anti-crypto. They do not want to be record labels because record labels are gatekeepers to music. And
that's like not even coming from me. That's the opinion of a lot of people I talk to. Like now that I'm on the other side, I feel like people
Mhm.
are like, oh, well, you're just saying that because you got accepted, you know, because
Right.
I'm in the walled garden saying like, no,
Yeah.
it's cool. Like I can't open the door. I'll try to see if I
Woo.
can open the door for you, you know?
Right. So they're not going to hear us the same anymore because we're on the other side. Um, sucks.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I'm
I mean,
gonna.
that's part of the thing where it's like, oh, you know, so I was talking to someone and they're like, oh, well, you know, it was cool until all these big artists started getting on there.
I
I'm
heard
like,
that too. Yeah.
well, it's like, well, what do you expect though? Uh,
Well,
but at the end,
evolution.
yeah, but I mean, it's not going to survive just by these big artists. Like, it's going to, like, why would they limit themselves? And at the end of the day, it takes confidence in our own ability and our own value to join this thing and figure it out. And I think part of that's just like what you're doing right now is just educating, because I think that's the most important step. Because I mean,
Agreed.
I've seen both sides, right? Like I've seen people that are just poo-pooing it, like I'm so sick of seeing this crypto art crap. I don't get it. It's stupid. It's clogging my Twitter feeds. Da da da. And then there's the other
Yeah.
side where, like, and I felt this in a way, but
Mhm.
I've heard stories of people like they sold their first piece and they just broke down and started crying, and they're just like, this is the first time anyone has ever bought something I've made. And like what
Wow.
that does, like that totally changes your mindset to like, oh, I'm more than just in the service industry. Like I am an artist, a capital A artist, because people are buying my capital A
Oops. I lost.
shift
Ah, I lost that last line.
to
Ah, you
to
went on such a good thought. I couldn't hear that last line. So sorry. I heard
it's
you
such a
said people are capital A artists.
yeah, and it's such a crazy switch of a mindset, change of mindset, to go from just doing stuff for clients to realizing that, oh, my value doesn't come from the work I do for clients. My value comes from my creative persona and the things I make that are in my own voice. And
In
I
your
think
heart
that,
too.
and yeah, exactly. Like, and I think that's why you're seeing the people that are most successful now are the people that like really lean into that. They have an online persona. Like you, me, like I'm sure if I wasn't doing tutorials and was out there, no one would have bought anything that I've, and maybe this goes into the marketing talk as well.
It is the marketing bit. You and
Yeah.
myself have kind of utilized the tools that were available for us at the time to kind
Yeah.
of build audiences that kind of care about what we do. And then all of a sudden a new technology comes out and then it makes it very easy for us to kind of adapt to it. So like what ends up happening is people might poo-poo it right now, but then in about 5 years when this is kind of just normalized, then they're going to be like, oh crap, I wish I got into crypto because like
Yeah.
when it was easier, like I know there was gated walls, but now everybody can get it. So it's going to get saturated, my guess. I don't know when because speed is weird right now, but it's going to get saturated and that's going to change how much people are making. We'll probably, maybe, I could be wrong, but it's one guess. I think we might have a situation where you're not seeing the same huge sales and people are like, oh my God. But I still think we'll see crypto because its popularity is not normal, like in how it's grown in the last 4 months. But this is just 4 months of data. But I'm trying to make a bet on it, but I'm not gonna bet everything on it. Just betting a little bit. Just like I think it might be a cool space to explore. I mean,
Sure.
I'm mind blown right now. Like I on my super rare piece, I can't believe how much people are bidding for it right now. And it's confusing me because I'm like,
Yeah.
I didn't, part of me thought that wasn't worth that. And then when you see like actual strangers, I see actual strangers. I don't know who
So
these
these aren't
people
people
are.
that know you.
No, not
Okay.
one of them I know.
Okay.
But most there's like four people that are competing right now, and I'm like, who are you? Who are you? I don't understand. This is
Hmm.
awesome, and I'm very grateful. But it's also like, someone thinks this is worth $600. These are What do you mean?
Yeah.
Like that? That's a nice chunk of money for artwork that I'm making.
So that, for example, you know, like the whole reason why I sold anything I sold is because all four people that bought anything I've made so far, like I know and they know me. And they're like, oh my God, like I followed
Mm.
your tutorials forever. Like I want to have this, which is
Yeah,
like, which in itself is crazy. Like number one, people actually like watch my tutorials, but number two, care
me,
enough
I
about what,
did a
but like,
lot.
but it's even hard for me to think that people place value on that. And
Do-
I just think that as a,
I'll speak for them.
yeah, as a
Yeah,
community,
after you say it. Sorry, you go.
as a community, we just have very low self-confidence. We always
Right.
like we don't think we're very good. I mean, even the top tier people in our industry don't think they're that good, and they don't probably charge enough for clients, you know. And this is just really
It's gonna change.
this is I
We
mean,
have to
this
change it.
blows like once you sell your first piece, it blows the doors off that whole thing that you bring no value because you don't have the clients to hide behind and saying I'm just
Yeah,
doing this client thing and that's why I'm getting paid. Like no. You're getting paid because of this guy. Got
right.
two thumbs.
The
Yeah.
artist, the
Yeah,
individual.
exactly. And I think
I
that
mean, yeah,
totally lifts the veil off of like that imposter syndrome, which even right now it seems like you're still going through. It's like, why
I
would
am still
anyone?
going through it. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's still weird to me because I've gone
yeah,
my whole life doing digital artwork, not, and I always thought this is so weird for me. I've always advised other creators, oh, if you want to do creative work, you're gonna have to find some job that you don't like that helps pay standard bills. That might mean taking clients that are not good for your mental health. That
yep,
might mean taking clients that hurt your feelings, but they help pay your bills so that you can help fund your artwork. This is the first time in my life where I'm like, there's a chance that you can like just do the artwork that you love and make a living off of that. What?
yeah,
No strings attached. I mean, other than, you are relying, I think marketing then becomes your job. Like you do need to market yourself. Why is your artwork worthy? Oh, well,
yeah,
you are this kind of, you have this story, you have this message. But the fact is, this is the first time in this technological space that we're in that I've ever even considered, wow, you could actually just make digital art that you're choosing and make a living off of it. That's unique. In my opinion,
yeah.
that's something, that's why I want to lean into it because that's very different. I've not seen anything like that, even remotely like that until this year for me, like 2020. I mean,
So, so what do you think it is? Like, obviously, like I said, the people that are I see selling all the time are already really well known and have established presence online, or even you could say their own brand.
yeah,
But like for example, like I sold my first few things, but then it kind of petered out because number one, I feel like I don't want like again as artists we hate promoting anything we do. We think
we're taught to
yeah,
not do that,
feel bad about yourself. Like oh, I don't
Yeah,
want to like maybe buy it if you want. Um,
please,
but like
no.
I have things that like, and I know other artists that just have pieces they minted and they're just sitting there. Like
Yeah,
what's the strategy for things like that? Because like you build up the hype. That's definitely one thing. Like you have to build up hype. You have to be established already. I feel it. But then for example, I see people on there that I don't know who the hell they are, and they're making like $10,000 on a piece, and I'm like, I don't know who you are. Let's look at your Instagram profile. You have 300 followers. What? Like it's really interesting.
yeah. I mean, I have an idea on what is the strategy there, and it's
Yeah.
gonna feel weird because it's a term you definitely have heard before, but I'm gonna put a spin on it. You have to be a storyteller, and storytelling is not just a writer, it's not just a videographer, it's not just a blogger. What I'm noticing is some of those artists that don't have huge followings, that people are buying the artwork for thousands of dollars. If you followed their crypto story, what kind of, and this might sound ludicrous, but what kind of memes they posted on Twitter at the right time that the collector saw 3 or 4 years ago said something about what that person's intrinsic values were, like what they valued on their heart. I know this is a weird one. This is so weird to say out loud because like I'm coming from like not this at all, in like in my work. But I'm trying to explain something I've observed. There's a story that artist is told that we don't actually get to hear. Another thing is most of the communication that I'm noticing for crypto art is all through Twitter, not through Instagram, which I'm not used to. So
That's
like
very true. Yeah.
everyone's like, that's where collectors are making the dialogue with the artists. For example, I can share this. I finally had a phone call or a video call with a collector, someone who's trying to collect one of my pieces. I still don't know what they look like, but they reached out to me through Instagram, and they sent me a message, and they're saying, and they're just kind of asking things about my philosophy on life. And I was like, this is so fascinating. And so I dive in deeper. I talk about like what my values are, and then they ask more questions about like, why do you do what you do? And luckily I can answer those things because I've thought a lot about this, and I kind of try to refine why am I here, you know, and I can answer that now. And so I start sharing this with them, and then I start asking a few questions of my own. I'm like, you know, what's your background? Like, you know, I've noticed, I look at your page and you're a big collector. You have X number of pieces, it's many, and they're selling, and you bought them for like thousands of dollars worth of Ethereum. Who are you? And they shared some stuff. They told me that they had a really, really strong view on art. One that I was just kind of invigorated to hear, because I don't really hear people who have like strong views on what is art. And this collector does have a very specific view. And they were like, they're so against gated communities. So they're from the traditional museum space. So they said the last 15 years, they've been an actual physical art collector. And they said they completely disagree with what they've experienced as the walls that the museum collectors have to get artwork in there, and the kind of deals they do where they sell somebody else's artwork for so much more, and the original artist gets none of it, because that's currently how it works in physical artwork in galleries. There's no, you know, once your artwork is sold to a museum, if the museum decides that it's 100 times more valuable than that and they resell it to a different museum, the original artist doesn't get any of that. They get none of that because they sold their rights, the copyright, they sold everything to this museum. And this particular collector is from that space, and they said they hate it, but they still love art. They still love collecting, and they just think there's a different way to do it. And so they're trying to, so the reason why I was like, why are you so curious, you know, about my life story? And they're like, well, he's like, if I'm going to invest in artists for this particular collector, that's what they're buying into. So you'll see artwork. I'm not going to share their name, but you would see artwork on their page, and you'll see stuff that you might be like, that's not all that challenging to make that particular artwork.
Right. Yeah.
You can make that in a few minutes, you know.
But that's real
skills.
art, and that's paintings, or just a paint stroke, you know.
Right, but that collector wasn't buying on your technical skill of an artist. They were buying, this particular collector was buying on who is the artist. Oh, I agree with who they are, and that's valuable to them. And then they say, take my value, and then they own your artwork, and they're like, this is valuable to me. I buy and trade on who the artist is, not what their art skill is, which is also just such a mind-blowing concept for myself when I first got into space, because I would see stuff, I'm like, I could make that in like 10 minutes. And I would feel that in my gut, and I'm like, wait, what? You know, like, why?
Well, that,
you know, like,
yeah, that's
like the frustration, because I grew up trained on the idea. The data that I was trained with as a kid growing up suggested that's not how art works. And I love the fact that this artwork is challenging my norms completely. It's just so out of my wheelhouse. So it's like, oh, no, that's artwork. And yes, they're selling it for thousands.
yeah.
So
I think that it's challenging everyone. Like, people have to come to terms with what do they consider, what do I even do? You know, like when you sell your first piece, you're like, oh, I'm like, something changed about how you make money.
Yeah.
Like, people, I was talking to him today.
Yeah, what's
I was
that
like,
saying?
I was like, dude, like, are you just done with client work? He's like, yep. He's like, I was on a board of a company. I'm quitting that. Like, it's insane.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just doing this. And I don't know, he's probably the most popular person that is just full-time. I mean, but that's all he's been doing, you know? But now he's making
like
money
over a
off
decade.
it. Yeah, but that's
like
what he's been making money on. So it's crazy, because everyone's like, oh, what is people ever, like, he's just making weird crap, and like all these people doing every day is like, what's the point? They're artists. They built a brand. They're, like you said, they're telling a story, I guess. Like,
yeah,
they show their personality. Do you think people would give a crap about Beeple's art if Beeple wasn't Beeple, like in his personality, who he is?
Oh my God, I love how you said that. Let me say that. You say that again. For like for
Do
emphasis.
you do you think that Beeple would make as much money as he's doing or care about the work that he does without Beeple being Beeple?
Gotcha. My answer immediately is no, not immediately. It would take a while because it was unless people's artwork when he first started, like I think 12 years ago, if it was like as valuable as it is today, then I feel like it would be like starting off from square one. So when someone thinks of the value of Beeple's artwork, it might be his legacy, it's his story, it's his journey, and it's its grind. Like you can't have a conversation about Beeple's artwork without acknowledging the fact that it appears that he's working very hard all the time for years. And then you immediately compare it to yourself and like, what did I do today? You know? And like,
Hmm.
that's a story. That's a really fascinating story of an artist. And that's valuable to people who are like, wow. The other part too that to think about, another reason why people buy artwork on the marketplace for these crypto places is sometimes they don't even care about the art at all. They just know that it can be resold for more. So they'll buy something that doesn't even agree with their artistic values. And they're like, this is going to sell for a lot in a week. This is going to sell for so much in a year and a half from now. And so they'll collect artwork because they have the intent on trading it. So like, yeah, that's the other thing. And just to get really weird, I found out there's actually bots that are buying crypto art now too, that are programmed by people. So
I mean,
sometimes
there's bots that are making them too.
true.
You know, yeah.
Yeah, I
It's like
love
just
that.
robots buying other robots' arts. Like this is Skynet. It starts like art. Yeah, they don't
What
need us anymore.
define Skynet for you? Like I hear that a lot, but what does Skynet mean to you?
Where the computers just get so advanced that they don't need humans anymore, and they're just going to wipe us out. You know, we're replaceable. We just
Yeah,
hog resources, yeah, that they
yeah,
need. It's like the Matrix, right? Like we're just
right. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean that's definitely one way to look at it, but we can also look at it other positive ways. You know,
eventually is going to lead to violence. They're just going to kill us all. They're
everyone's
not
gonna
going to be
die.
everyone. They're not going to be Bob Ross robots where it's like everything's happy trees.
Well, then we'll go to Mars. That's why Elon Musk is building that base so the crypto artists can all move to
You
Mars.
can get yeah, and the art yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, it will be safe. It's a safe spot. I see what you mean though, but yeah, and I guess in that sense, you know, the Skynet fear. The good news is I've learned that that fear has been true in humans since forever. Like I don't have evidence to support this one exactly. I can't cite it well, but apparently, like when the piano was invented, there's a whole bunch of fuss on on the symphony space and the quartet space. They're like, you mean one instrument can play lows, mids, and highs? Unacceptable.
Yeah,
We should not use technology that does that because that is going to put us out of work. We're a quartet. You need to have all of us. You need the highs, mids, and lows. You get piano players, you're going to we're going to lose our jobs.
yeah,
And like, yes, they might have, but also those they became, you know, some of them adapted and changed and were able to thrive. Others did not adapt and then they vanished. And it was like both happened. So I think we will have Skynet, at least part of it. And then we're also gonna have some really beautiful things that are the opposite of Skynet that are also gonna happen that are a little bit harder to predict. Because it's easier for us to stay in like a fear
oh
mindset
yeah.
because that's all the training data we've been given.
The
Every
lizard
sci-fi we've
brains.
watched,
Yeah,
yeah, every sci-fi is like, oh, we're all gonna die because of robots and AI. And then you're like, oh yeah, that's all you can see in your head. You're like, oh yeah, that's what it looks like.
yeah. Everything's scary. Everything's scary. People thought bicycles were scary. It would rot your
Really?
brain. Yeah, people thought
Bicycles?
bicycles were like, well, that's weird. It's crazy. And it's
I
it's
did not know this. I need to
people
look that
thought
up. What?
if you read books it would melt your brain. If you watch
Oh, I did
TV it
hear
would
about
melt
that
your
one.
brain. If you were on the internet it would melt your brain. You
And
know,
look
all
at
these
us now.
things. And look at us now, yeah. The smartest freaking people ever in history.
That's kind of like every generation says that of the next younger generation. Like, oh, what they're doing today is gonna just screw with their minds. And then like
Yeah.
those people grow up and evolve, and then like they're fine usually. I mean, there's caveats. Like I know I'm not trying to like reduce all of humanity's problems to like, oh, they're fine. But it's a
Especially not right
spectrum.
now.
I know this is different. Yeah, yeah, no, that's a good point.
But one of the things I always think about too, and I wonder if there's like, we live in such a giant world that we only get a fraction of what actually is going on. And it's usually all the bad news. But when you learn about Mozart, all these artists, musicians, Leonardo, like all the Renaissance people, like they were making amazing stuff at age 10 or 11. Like,
Hmm.
I'm sure we still have that now, but it's like it's
Definitely,
crazy
yeah,
that you don't hear much about. Like you hear of savants, but I just think that that's
sure,
incredible, because like I don't know, I guess art and opera and classical music and all this stuff was just way more important. But I guess the one-to-one comparison to now is like you were just saying, this ferocious person who's was super young when they started out, and I feel like that's where the savants are, is in like the tech.
yeah.
You have all these. I mean, there's kids that are doing. They're 12 years old making tutorials, and I'm like, what?
Yeah. I
Yeah, I
mean,
don't know what you. Yeah, they're
to give you
teaching
more,
me something. Yeah.
yeah, I'll try to watch tutorials from anybody who can like educate me on something. One example is like I worked with like Little Nas X, and if you hear his story on how he got famous, he's like a genius marketer.
Yeah.
So different level how his mind works when he marketed, how he made his song blow up is one like are you familiar with any of the story on how he blew up in a
No, but I
sense?
know I have a bunch of friends that have worked on stuff for him. Yeah.
Yeah, so he basically he like reverse engineered how humans interact with the internet and then made his music the solution to all of our reactions. An example was he went on to Reddit and he made a post saying, "What is that song that goes, when I like," and he basically started the lyrics of his song and he put his song as the solution. That got upvoted tons of times of like, "Oh yeah, that's how you do the song lyrics to that piece." Basically, he created all these answers to where humans go to ask questions on the internet. And I'm like, this kid, now he's an adult, but this kid, he's a marketing genius of our time who basically looked at like where we are at in space and how much priority we put on the internet. And like he just reverse engineered it. And it's beautiful. He also
Hmm.
like, I mean, that was just one of them. He also, how he grew on Twitter was he spent years building a meme account. So many hundreds of thousands of people would follow his Twitter page because of the funny memes that people would have on it. And then what he did was he made fun of his song on his giant Twitter page. He made memes making fun of how ridiculous his song was. People reshared it unconsciously because like, yeah, that song is so stupid. He was like the marionette. He just like he just moved the string.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is some next level marketing. Develop a meme page that people think is just fun to share. And then when you're ready to release your music, your passion, just make fun of it on your meme page. And then they're going to reshare it because they have a habit and a culture of like, oh, this is a funny meme, I'm going to retweet it. And then not think about it. Like, how have you shared a meme?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Did you look at the origin of the meme?
That's always interesting to me. Like, where did this come from? And one of the things that when I was going in my rabbit hole of researching the crypto art thing was the Pepe the Frog. Like
Yeah, I don't
before it
understand that
got
still.
co-opted, like it was just a stupid meme. But then it got co-opted. Now it's really bad. But
Oh yeah.
there was crypto art trading cards of Pepe the
Oh,
Frog. You don't know
I didn't
about
know
this?
that. No, I
Oh
don't.
yeah,
This is
yeah.
new to me. What is
Like it's
this?
some of the first. It was like people would make these digital trading cards, and it would just
Okay.
be anyone, and you'd sell it, and people would trade these Pepe the Frog trading
What?
cards. Yeah, and that was like
Wow.
some
Okay.
of the first origins of like some of this crypto art stuff. Either that or the article was full of
Wow.
crap that I was reading.
Oh.
But yeah, it
Yeah.
was like this
Yeah.
meme thing where people would create a meme and people would like remix it and make it their own, and you would buy memes. Like
Wow.
imagine if you owned a meme. So I think that's kind of what kind of started that
Wow.
whole Pepe the Frog because that was a meme, and someone's like,
Yeah.
I want to own that. Who made that?
Wow. Oh my God. I just thought like, why doesn't somebody on Super Rare or Known Origin, why don't they share a meme on there and try to
Yeah, create
like
their own meme, like
mint an
reverse
idea?
engineer the meme, like Lil Nas.
Oh my God. Wow. Man, that's not, sorry, I'm just, got my gears
Just
spinning here.
calculate, yeah,
Yeah.
calculate that. Yeah, well, what are we doing? We're in the wrong business. We should be making memes and selling them.
Right? That's hilarious, but not that hilarious because that's like for real.
No, it's really real.
Do you have any other questions that would help, like, in like that you're like still curious about with regards to just marketing, crypto art? Why?
Yeah, I mean, do you think, because again, I always go back to this divide between the artist and trying to convince people of the value of this thing for, and
Yeah.
trying to, like what Beeple's doing with the physical screens is definitely breaking through. Like we talked about, the storytelling, the almost like being your own brand. I guess I would say on that point, like, because I've like, what do you have to lose? Like, if anyone's watching right now, like, what do you have to lose by making your own art and sharing it and maybe making some money off of it? I think if anything, like what we've been talking about this entire time is that it makes you refocus on like, okay, I made this thing. It's not just going to sell itself. Probably, I don't know, unless it's amazing and someone connects with it, like
Sure.
what you're doing right now. But you have to build your online persona. You have to play, like if you've just been totally ignoring social media before, like this is a huge missed opportunity. Maybe you need to focus on that. But even at the end of the day, if you don't sell a single, maybe you don't sell anything. Maybe you sell one. But
Yeah.
if you put in that work to build your online persona, guess what? That's how clients can find you as well. So it all feeds into bringing eyeballs to you. Um, but yeah, like I guess we can talk about like what do you see things getting super easy? Like, do you feel? Actually, this reminds me of someone in the chat. I don't know if they're still here, and this
Hmm.
is a good question here too, as far as like walled gardens and stuff like that. So he is
Sure.
from Sao Paulo, Brazil,
Okay.
and so like the one of the shocking things for me, it was like, oh, I have to pay money for the gas fee to post my work, and it was
Yeah.
around. It's all based on the Ethereum and
Yes.
the fluctuations of what's available, how many people are using these machines, and the render farm thing is like perfect analogy for that because the more
Hmm.
demand, the higher the price.
Right.
$8 US in whatever
Hmm.
that crypto conversion is, that's
Yes.
easy. What if you're in another country where $8 is what you make in a week or whatever? Like,
Right.
how do you see these crypto outside? Because you were just saying this person, they're just fed up with the art gallery space and it was a walled garden. I feel like this
Hmm.
is still very much a walled garden. It's not
Yeah. You need internet.
democratized. Yeah, it's not democratized yet. Do you feel like the people that are getting into this, like once they get stabilized and it's like we're making money off this, okay, now let's really democratize everything. Let's give voice to people that otherwise wouldn't have that opportunity because it is the internet, and if you're making amazing art but you just can't, I can't pay the fee, you
Right.
know.
Yeah. I mean, to that regard, I do think that those people exist. So like the creators of these marketplaces were brought up on the technology that kind of made art accessible and digital and abundant. And so they've now made a new space to hopefully democratize. The thing that I might want to share though is not all of them are a walled garden. There's another one that I was going to apply to. If basically I applied to this one as my safety net if I didn't get accepted to Super Rare and Known Origin because there's no application. You could submit it right now. It's
So it's like Instagram, you create an account and you're in.
yeah, it's called Rarible. It's spelled
Oh, I've
Rariable. Let me double check if that's it. Rarible. Oh no, it keeps autocorrecting things. No, it's Rarible. Rarible. Rare
Rarible.
a.
I didn't know Rarible was that anyone could join because I've heard of that many times.
I think so. I don't want to misquote it, but I think I was able to make an account. I think it even had an ability for me to upload, but it was literally like the same day that I was going to do that, I got accepted onto known origin. I was like, oh, okay. But that was going to be my option. Like if all the walled gardens were still too walled, I was just going to try the free option and start there.
So how does Rarible like vet your identity and that it's your
They
work?
don't.
They don't? Oh, Wild West. Pew pew.
Yeah, all these don't, because like you could. I mean, no, not all these don't. Super rare. They want to know who you are, right? Like they're having you submit a video interview and
Right, right.
artwork and profiles that they can verify. But some of them have different philosophies, and that's the crazy cool thing about Ethereum. Like as a script is like it's just like different app developers can use Swift to make an app like Lyft, which is their take on mobile transportation, and there's an app like Uber, which is their take on mobile transportation. They're both doing ride sharing, but they have a slightly different philosophy on what is the rules of ride sharing. They're both using Ethereum, or sorry, they're both using Swift. um, but the example, oh, man, you had a moment ago. What's stopping them from? Oh, I think I lost it. I
It's
lost
almost
that
like,
thought.
okay, if you want to make the Uber analogy, it would almost be like anyone could drive a taxi cab. Anyone could show up in like a jalopy junk car or whatever. Like there was no vetting of like who's this stranger driving me around? Does
Yeah,
this person actually work for Uber? Are they going to murder me? Like you
right.
want to know that there's some kind of vetting going on. Like if I'm going to buy this thing, why would you and correct me if I'm wrong, doesn't all this stuff all end up like once you buy it on that platform, you could buy it on the secondary market on these secondary market websites. It's not connected to that super rare anymore or rareable. It's just
Right.
out there.
Yeah, a token. So this is a weird part too. When you mint something, you're given a token. It's like a magical item that lives on your virtual wallet. And this token says it's like a badge. And you collect these badges when you mint something. And so you can trade tokens on other sites. So you can get a token from minting something on Super Rare. And they're like, cool, here's a token we're going to put in your wallet. This token says you own that piece. But you can go to a different server and you can say, actually, I want to exchange tokens. I have a token for this artwork. You have a token on this other one. Let's swap. Um, I guess one solution that you mentioned about how like if $8 is the barrier to entry, that's literally what I try to do for my very first art uh, submission. Is I'm legitimately giving away 15% of whatever the sale value is of my piece. I'm giving it away to a contest winner randomly.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I'm thinking I can help kickstart somebody who like they didn't have money to pay for the gas fee to put something on the blockchain. What if you won this contest because you're interested in the space? You have now Ethereum for free. You spent nothing. You got this Ethereum. You can now afford it. So I feel like we have to kind of be like ethically responsible of nurturing it so that it's not going to be a gate, a wall. Because I could be a total jerk and not, and just like take all the money for myself. But
Yeah.
for me, that's not going to be. I know for me, I'm experimenting right now with how much I want to give back, and donate back into like future proofing artists that want to like I want to get into this, but I don't have a computer. I want to get in this, but so I'm taking the responsibility. I'm gonna say, okay, let me experiment, and then from my successes, I'm gonna just gift you these things
Yeah.
because I think it would be cool to kickstart somebody who's like, oh my god, that's all I needed, and now I'm a huge crypto artist, and I make a living doing art that I love. All I needed was that first. I need someone to invest. They needed a modern day investor.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I'm gonna pay you in a
It's like
virtual
the micro
currency.
loan thing.
What's that?
It's like the micro loan where you just
Oh,
like if someone wants to start a farm or whatever, and it's like here's $20, like you don't have to pay me back, but like for someone else, $20 is like huge.
everything.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah.
I was like,
That's
that's all it took to like that's all it would have taken to reinvigorate a whole creative mind and spirit who's gonna hopefully like I want to invest in those people that are gonna do good. And so by trying to curate like an audience that kind of nurtures each other, because
mhm.
how I'm picking it was I basically made this is how I marketed my first sale, which is almost at like 700, it's like $650 right now. And how I marketed this was mostly through Instagram. And my strategy was, I'm like, how can I help get the fact that I'm selling crypto art out there, but then also give it back to people to help kickstart? And my solution to this was a contest. So I basically said, I'm going to do a post on the day that I launch, and the first 10 people that comment on it saying you accept and agree to the terms of my contest, which were that were listed in that post, you have to write I, username, accept and agree to the terms of Don Allen III's contest for his first crypto art drop. And one of the things I said in my contest agreement was that you have to share it on your story and tag both Super Rare and myself to be eligible. You have to be the first to comment. That's it. That's all. And then what I'm going to do is when I sell my artwork, I'm going to take the first 10 people who fulfilled those 2 requirements, and I'm going to use a random name picker on Google in a live stream. So I'm literally just going to switch my phone around, enter all 10 of the names, and click. And first of all, I'll do it like with random words first, like apple, pear, like just a bunch of things. I'll hit accept.
It's random. Yeah.
Oh, it chose apple. I'm like, cool. Now I'm going to enter all those 10 names who fulfilled my contest agreement, and I'm going to put them into the system, hit, pick, generate, or, random pick. And then that person's going to appear in the live stream. And then part of my agreement was you have 1 week to set up a virtual wallet. I don't need your name. All I need is your username, and I need your Ethereum account number so I can wire it to you. And it's so fast. And that's on my contest agreement. So, because if somebody gets the agreement, they win the currency, but then they spend more than a week, like they're not getting it, because that's too hard for me to manage. I just want to get someone like ready. They've done the contest. They've accepted and agreed to my contest terms, because that's how they entered. And then yeah, they're going to have to set it up within a week if they, and then for me, that's how I marketed this. And now all of a sudden it's at $700. I thought it would maybe go for 100 at best. This is like 7 times what I thought it was going to go for. And it's still open. Like people, like someone can still bid. And I'm like, that's nuts. That's so much more than what I expected. And the marketing was like, how can I give a portion of it back? I even did a live stream asking, how much should I give back? I was I'm thinking about 30%. And someone's like, no, dude, 15%. I'm like, okay, what do you guys think? And they're like, yeah, 15, like, little thumbs up. I'm like, okay, let's try it. And let's try doing a 15% back. And all of a sudden it's like growing. And I'm like confused. I'm like, wow, this is working. I don't know, like walking into a void of question and unknowns, and just like, oh, what about this? Let's try this. And things are working. And there's going to be, stuff that doesn't work, but I'm also going to document that process and be like, okay, taking everything is not going to work, or maybe it does. Who knows?
So you said you weren't going to see if the person actually follows through, and like you said, they get a week to post their first piece.
No. They get a week to set up a virtual wallet so that I can wire the money to them.
After that, it's just like you sign the terms. I might sue you. I don't know.
No, what do you mean? Why sue them? Like,
for my money back. Yeah.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, I mean,
because it's like you want to make sure that like you said, you want to make sure that the money you're giving is actually going to the right people and doing for good. But how are you?
Yeah, how I sorted that.
You're just trusting that they're bound to the agreement.
Yeah, I mean, I'm taking a risk for sure, because like I can't guarantee that they're going to use the cryptocurrency that they earn for good. What I'm hoping for is that the people that would have been aware of this contest are people that have been following this community long enough that they would maybe have their notifications turned on, because I'm going to do this post or I'm going to give it away. And again, it's not going to be my responsibility after that. And I even put that in the terms that they've accepted.
You post a Pikachu picture and get sued. I'm not.
Yeah, because I'm giving you the crypto art, so you can use that. Yeah. And the other reason why I chose it was like I was going to do money at first, but then.
Oh, you're giving the person the crypto art piece.
No, I'm not giving them their artwork. I'm giving them Ethereum.
Because I was going to say, like, because that's one thing I've seen is you can gift art piece. So that means
Yeah, you can do that for
hypothetically, you
sure.
could gift that to someone and they could turn around and sell it, and then they'd have Ethereum, and then they could go and do their own art piece or whatever.
Right. So I wasn't that generous in this particular one.
Because I mean, that
I'm
could
yeah.
be, you don't know how much money that could ultimately be, you know?
Yeah, I mean, because clearly I thought this would be $100 and 15%. I thought I was giving maybe someone $15 worth of Ethereum. Right now it's at seven, it's like $650. That's $97 worth of Ethereum right now for one of those
Yeah.
contest winners. That's a lot. That's a lot more than I thought.
Yeah.
Um,
Or you just be like, you know what, I'll sponsor however many people's first mints, you know, like what's your
oh,
gas fee?
wow.
I'll cover you.
That's not a bad idea that I might
And it's like,
actually do.
I want to see the artwork that you're doing.
Okay.
Cool. So I know what piece you're going to post. I'm going to give
Uh-huh.
you that. Now I better see like what platform is it? When are you going to post it? I'll help promote it as well.
Hmm.
So then
S-
it's like this
You're like a
accountability.
curator then.
There you go. That's a good curator. Yeah.
You know, like maybe you're not a crypto artist, but you can make some crypto by being somebody who's going to help curate crypto artists and like nurture them. Like, you know, you got to make sure that you own all the work, you value the
Yeah.
work that you're putting, you have a story that you're trying to foster, you're
Yeah.
connecting with your collectors through Twitter. You know, that's a whole job opportunity to help manage an artist in that space.
Because I mean that's one of the biggest barriers, and like who know, like I know in certain countries like Turkey they can't use PayPal, so they can't like buy stuff on my store because I only accept PayPal and credit cards and stuff.
Barriers.
And yeah, barriers. So even to set up your own account, you need your Ethereum wallet, which is, I mean, it's more complicated than it needs to be, but you can do it
True.
without money, you know.
Yes.
But then you have to fund the account. To fund the account, you need to go on what is it, Coinbase, right?
Hmm.
You have to transfer money from a bank account, so you
True.
have to set that up, and then there's that wait where it's like you have to confirm that that's your bank account. You have to wire it. That takes a few days, and then to
Yeah.
convert it, even converting the currency from dollars or whatever your currency is to
Hmm.
Ethereum takes, you know, half an hour. Who knows? And then that
Yeah.
price is always changing too. So
Totally.
one of the problems that I ran into because I was such a noob was that the thing
Huh.
was telling me you need uh, 8 Ethereum, or not
Okay.
Ethereum, but like $8 worth of Ethereum, so 0.00549 whatever.
Sure.
I was like, okay, I'll go to my bank account. I only
Oh,
funded like $15 or something like that.
yeah.
It's like, okay,
Got
I'll
it.
transfer over $8 worth of Ethereum. By the time it transfers and I try to go to it again, the price went up.
Yeah,
And I'm
price
like,
goes up. Yeah.
oh my God. And you have to pay, a fee every
Yeah, for
time you
processing.
convert. Yeah.
Yeah, because
To
you ask it
process.
to, you use
Yeah.
their power to process their. I know. So that part makes people feel like, is this a scam? I'm being scammed, right? You
Yeah.
just,
So what actually,
understandably, yeah.
happened was I had a friend who was on known origin,
Okay.
and his name's Jerry. He's awesome. Uh, he actually was in the email for known origin today, which was super cool.
Oh,
And
wow.
he's a 2D artist, which is like that's another thing where I'm like, you only see 3D artists or very experiential stuff, but not like 2D animators. And Jerry was one of the first people. I was like, oh, that's cool. Like I want to sign up there because that's definitely the style of art that I'm creating, or work that
Hmm.
I'm creating that matches that.
Wow.
So what he ended up doing was just wiring me. He's like, "What's your wallet address?" Like what you were just saying. I'm just gonna wire you some money because
Yeah.
then you don't have to wait 3 days or whatever it is, and you have to
Just
deal
go.
with like you don't even need a Coinbase account at that point unless you want to like you have to cash out, I guess, if you want.
Well,
You have to set up
I mean, that's what
or
I'm
what?
thinking.
Yeah,
That was kind of the space that I've been talking to some of my family and friends about is like part of me is thinking, you know, I'm probably not gonna be withdrawing a lot of the crypto I make into dollars. I might try to build a little Ethereum off of just like I want to build virtual currency that I don't convert back into any physical based currency. Just to experiment for a little while.
I mean, because
And
it's like you own a stock. Like from when I got it a month ago, about like it's went up 150
yeah,
bucks. Like one is
same.
gone. Yeah.
Yeah, this last 2 months, like I bought some. So like I've been doing selling some crypto art. I also went onto Robinhood and bought some Ethereum because I'm betting on it, and so I
Mm.
bought some Ethereum, and It's by far the most lucrative thing I've ever purchased in my whole life. Now, again, that can
Oh,
change
sure.
tomorrow. That can
Yeah.
change tomorrow. But like, I put, a certain sum amount, and then it went up like 3 times that price. It went up 3 times that amount in value about 2 days later. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, that
then
doesn't
Ethereum,
happen in stock markets.
no, so it's super volatile. So like, that's again why I'm never going to be like all in, because that's
Yeah.
scary. For me, it's like, that's a huge risk, because that means if it can go that much in 3 days, that also means it could go that much or worse in 3 days. It's not just an upward. Right now, it's all upward, very gradually, and I can probably just look it up right now what the stock is. ETH
Yeah, I remember, on your stream,
stock.
what you were checking it, and you checked it like throughout the stream. It's like, it's up, it's down.
Yeah,
It's changing. It just changed while I brought it up. Yeah.
Okay, so like here, I'll flip the camera. In the last 6 months, this is the value of Ethereum. Oh, no, that's not it. That's Ethan Allen Interiors. That's not Ethereum. Disregard what I just said.
Don't buy
Fake
that. You
news.
can't trade that for, Can't buy
Look at
Cryptoart with Ethan Allen stuff.
All right, so here's the Ethereum price right now. So right now, one Ethereum, let me zoom in better, sorry. One Ethereum is worth about $543 right now. That's currently the value. This will change in like 30 seconds. So if I refresh the page, let's see what it is now.
I mean,
Okay,
that's actually down from what's
It
the,
is.
like, what did it do?
Yeah,
Because it was
down
up
for
to like
December.
600 and something.
Yeah, let me click on to here. So in the last 5 months, yes, this is down from, it was up to 613 on Monday. So basically one Ethereum was worth $613 on Monday, but now one Ethereum is worth $559. So it's depreciated. But the crazy thing is, like, the lowest it's been the last 2 months, or actually since November, the lowest it's been is about $520. So this is still up from its lowest point. It's $543 right now. But look at this. Look at last month. Or if I go to the last year, this is, my exposure blew out there. This is the value of Ethereum in the last year. So in last year, so the beginning of the year, in 2019, December 11th, it was $143. So if you had one Ethereum, you had 143 US dollars. And then
quadrupled since, or just
yeah.
about.
Now in under a year, it's at, as of right now, it's 600. But at its highest, it's been around, I'm kind of hovering around there. Looks like let me see what its max was.
Yeah, what's the max? It was up to like almost 1,000. Yeah, 1,000.
Oh, it was at $1,100 in January. Oh, in 2018. Oh, that's when it like got really popular. But now we're in 2020. So look at that. So this was in 2018, and it's gone down. And now for the first time in 2020, it's starting to spike up.
Yeah.
So like, how much it's been in the past. Again, this is such a gamble, though. This is not confirming anything. This is a record of the past. But that's why I'm kind of just treating it like it's a gamble. It's a gamble, but it's also like, for me, the gambling is, I'm going to be making artwork anyway. I love making 3D artwork. I love making 2D artwork. So the gambling for me is like, you're just going to make artwork and upload it to one other location.
Yeah.
What? And there's a chance that it goes up in value or a chance it goes down in value. Cool. I'm going to be making it anyway.
I mean, or if you're that worried about it, you sell stuff and you just cash out right away. I almost did that. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to need to fund future stuff if I get into this. So I'll just keep it there. It's free money. Like, I literally made money off of work I already did.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, I literally have thousands of pieces of artwork that I've made in the last.
It's like someone, like, I just
lifetime.
walked into a casino and someone just gave me a bunch of chips. Like, I guess I'll play. Like, I'm not just going to cash out. Like, I'm going to play a little bit, see what happens. If I lose all the money, oh well. I didn't lose any. Like, it's free. It was money that I found.
They gave you chips, and you're like, oh, I can bet with these. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Go. Like, do whatever you want. You're like,
roll the dice.
Yeah. You start rolling the dice, and so like, I guess the risk is probably for collectors. I think like a bigger risk, because
for sure
right now Ethereum is valuable. But we saw that, at its lowest, Ethereum was worth, actually, to be honest, at its lowest in the last 2 years, it was only at, the lowest it's been is $90. Not bad.
That's the thing because I guess
December 8th, 2018.
Yeah, that's the weird thing because it's so
Yeah.
volatile because all crypto art right now is attached to Ethereum. But what if it was attached to dollars and it would just not have that volatility?
Right. And that's probably what Nifty Gateway is doing.
Yeah,
They're like,
because
oh, we're
that's
going to bet
yeah,
on the US dollar. But yeah, it's a gamble. And I think it can be fun, but also terrifying, especially if you're like, oh, am I going to like give them? What tripped me out was like, I didn't realize that you get to own the copyright, even if someone owns your artwork.
yeah,
That blew my mind because I'm so used to the idea of like, I've made so much artwork for artists that I can't name, and I see it on their pages, and I'm like, oh, I wish I could tell somebody I made that. But the contract that I signed says, you don't talk about this. This is artwork that was by that artist, by that album. That's their art. And I'm like, oh, but I made it and I want to talk
yep,
about it.
yeah.
And I can't because I
I
signed
can't share it
something.
on. Yeah, I can't share it on my portfolio. Da da da.
Yeah, tons
Yep.
of work like that. Most of my work is hidden. All the stuff I do is like, this is what I'm allowed to share. Let me get it out of my system. Go, 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 go. I wish I could share. God, just so much stuff. And what's funny is some of my older clients are they're seeing that I'm doing stuff with crypto, and they're like, "Hey, what is this? What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm finding another method to get attribution and money for my work." And they're like, "Hey, you should stop. You should stop that. You should." And then they don't know what to do because then, I mean, they'll go to other artists for now, and I'm like, okay, that's cool for now until they're
Yeah,
convinced otherwise that there's another option for them.
it's
Um,
so weird. They're scared because you have options and they can't lord over you anymore. That's
yes, that happens to some of my older toxic clients. Yes, that happens. I'm used to that though, unfortunately. In the past, things are different now. Literally, like this year, it's different because now I am turning down work that I would like to do, and I'm very grateful for that option. But that wasn't true very recently ago in my past. That wasn't something I could do. So it cracks me up when they're upset that they're seeing me kind of do something on my own, and like that just helps me understand, wow, that was a really bad client. I had no idea because I had no comparison. So getting into like selling artwork, I'm starting to understand my actual value, which is way higher than I imagined because I'm seeing it. I'm like, oh my God, wow, you were actually treating me like garbage. And like, and I thought I was okay with that because I didn't have another example, like a counterexample. These are for like freelance clients, not
well,
some of
or
my
you're
personal
just
work.
or you got to pay bills, and it's like, well, I got no choice. Like, I got to make money, so I got to put up with this crap.
Of
But
course. And
that's
that's
like,
what I've been taught.
yeah. I mean, that's
I
why
was taught, yeah.
I always tell people like when you go freelance, like have that rainy day fund because.
Yeah, there's
Because
dark
like you're
times.
saying, like yeah, you could have dark times, and you don't want to be stuck with a client that's just gonna like, well, I was booked for a month, but the scope went to two or three, and I had, oh my god, I had to turn down two really good clients because of this crappy client.
Mhm.
You have no idea the
And they own
consequences of
you.
yeah,
They own
yeah,
you. And it's like that's the problem with, I mean, don't get me wrong, I will still do client work. But as of now, I got to a point where it's on my terms. So like in the past, I didn't have that option. It had to be on their terms because I needed to grow, I needed to eat, I needed to pay
yeah.
bills. And now that I'm like kind of got an established base, they're like, oh crap, we don't control them entirely anymore. Crap, now time to go to other artists where we can abuse and like wrench out all of their energy. And that's what they do.
Mhm.
And then that's why I feel so compelled to make content like this saying, hey, you don't have to do that. It just takes us a few artists to basically put their foot down and be like, no, I am valuable. My work is valuable and you will pay what it's worth. And this is how it goes. But if you keep artists in a state where they don't even get that flexibility or have that voice, then it gets stomped out successfully, unfortunately.
I mean, yeah, that's why you have so many people seeing. It's like the Plato's cave where they're just staring at the wall and it's like, no, 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 we can go out, we can go outside. And like, nope, I'm fine here. Thanks
Yeah,
though.
I'm in the cave.
Yep.
The cave's the norm, and like there's nothing out there. It's just this. This is
Yeah.
the cave wall. Yeah, so like we can break I see this as one option, at least for, I love technology and I love art, and I see this crypto is like very much aligned with that for me. And so I feel like this is like a modern way of breaking out of that cave that a lot of artists are put in by society, by just kind of design culture in the industry level. This throws a huge wrench in their system, because you have artists now, they're like starting to, like, quote, wake up. They're like, wait, my work is worth more than what these clients have been paying me. And they're seeing it themselves, and they're like, oh my God, why was I accepting it before? And then when their client goes back to them with the same crappy price that super undervalues them, they'll say no. And the client's like, wait, what happened?
Yeah.
You liked this no payment thing that we had going on last time.
And the exposure bucks, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You call them exposure bucks?
Exposure bucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the crazy thing. And sometimes you realize it from the weirdest experiences. Like one time I was like, I'm so booked, and a client came at me, and I was like, all right, I'm not going to say no because I want to be nice. So I'll just throw out this ridiculous number that's like double my rate.
Yeah.
And then they respond like almost immediately, like, okay, that's fine. I'm like, oh my God. Number one, holy crap, I gotta accept this now, I guess. And number two, holy crap, I could have been charging that this entire time. So it's almost like you don't realize your worth until you're shown that that's your worth. And I feel like crypto art is one easy way to realize what your true value is. And like, I tell you what, like, I want to work with you next year, like 2021. I want to shout this from rooftops, because I think this can really give a lot of confidence back into what we do and who we are, and how we maybe approach client work. I mean, maybe we can all be like people and just be like, you know what, I don't need clients anymore. I'm going to do me. And this is what I do now. I make art. I'm an artist.
Deal with it.
Deal with it. Yeah. So like, I gotta say, I love that you're putting in all this time and work and energy to educating everyone, and like myself, because after watching you a couple weeks ago, I'm just like, yes, like you fired me up. I'm like, oh my God, yes. Yeah. Because you brought up the Instagram thing. Like, they're making money off us. We should do our own thing. Yeah.
I know. And that what sucks is like that, like this, they must be furious right now, like shouting this to the top of my lungs. But it's because there's a lot of developers in there that do have a lot of heart, but they're stuck in the grind. So they don't actually get to express themselves. They have to be reminded through art, usually, of why are you developing what you're developing. It's not always clear if you're in the wheel. If you're just like, oh, I develop. Why am I developing? They don't have a chance to think of why. You just, I develop. Just developing. So it needs attention-grabbing artwork and maybe some like little jarring statements that poke at them and poke at their consciousness. And they're like, wait, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Did anyone take a break and stop and look, why are we doing this?
Or and you can even apply that to the crypto art sites, where it takes someone like Beeple to be like, hey, this is what you're doing. Like, there's a disconnect. If you want to reach a greater market, like, here's some ideas. Because, sometimes you can't see the forest through the trees because you're working on the website so much, and I'm sure they're getting a flood of applications, and they're overwhelmed because they don't even have staffs to approve all these people. They don't have time to be inventive and say, you know what we should do next is like have the option to like buy a signed print of whatever you're buying that has a QR code. And because I think that's what's really going to get more of the mainstream stuff and get more people into it, because then it's not just having like a physical thing.
Oh, yeah, or telling a story. Normal or familiar. That's what's familiar.
Or like you said, telling a story. I have a buddy, Gavin Shapiro. He's got this, and you almost think of it as like a real artist, where you're like, I have a series of paintings, and they're all the same theme, and so Gavin did this thing called Real Collectibles for Imagined Reality, and what he was selling was almost, it looked like what Beeple's actually doing, although Beeple's selling like actual physical things. He's going to ship
True.
it to you as
Yeah.
well as you get the
Wow.
token.
That's cool.
So how Gavin did his thing, so he makes like these really cool dancing flamingos and
Oh, that
penguins.
Gavin. I know
Have you
him. I didn't know
seen it?
his
Yeah,
name.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the
So
flamingos. Yes, they're
yeah,
amazing.
yeah, yeah. So he sold a series of these flamingos that looked like they were made like they were physical objects. So for the neck and for like the bopping, it was like it had gears in it. It had like rods, and so it looked like an actual machine running the thing. Yeah,
Wow.
like you know, like the monkey with the cymbals. Like it looked like a real
Right.
thing.
Yeah. Okay.
And he was like, I'm gonna sell another one. It's broken though. So it did the same movement, but the neck was just limp. But it's not a real thing. But yeah,
Whoa.
but he was treating it
Whoa.
as if like these are imperfect objects and you can buy this thing. So I was like, okay, that's really interesting. And that's
I
where we
love that.
tie
Holy
everything into
crap.
the storytelling and the marketing of like how ingenious is that idea where you're
It's
playing.
wow. You
Yeah,
just played with the rig. You basically just
yeah,
you make the rig limp and you're like, this is a broken
yeah. This
version
is
of that
broken,
same.
and I'm
Oh my
selling.
God.
And his story was, I'm selling this as is.
Wow. I mean that's
Yeah,
what wow, that I feel
super ingenious.
I feel sparks in my head from you saying that because that God, that changes so many things. If you make your artwork a living story, and you basically what he's doing is he's treating his digital artwork as if it's a physical
Physical
piece of
objects.
art. It's a
Yeah,
physical thing. So physical things break. Oh, this one's dented. This one has a scuff on it. You know, I'll make it. I'll charge less because
yeah,
it's scuffed, and that's just a paint job that you did in Substance Painter. And it's like, yeah, that's the scuffed version of my artwork sculpture, but it's on a discount. It's on sale this week
yeah.
because it's
Or
scuffed.
just
You see the
yeah,
scuff.
yeah.
Wow,
Like just think about
wow,
all the
that's
ways you
so
could do
cool.
that. Like you take another one he did was a what do you call like a zoetrope thing that spins around, or is that what it's
Oh,
called?
is
Zoetrope,
it where
like
it's like stop
you
motion where
see the
every single
image.
motion
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
and
Yep.
like it makes the exact shape, and as it spins around, if you look at it with one angle, it looks like it's animated in that one spot.
Yep.
Okay.
So he made that in 3D. So that alone's super cool. But he put it on a pedestal, as you would see in an art gallery. And he's
I
like, you
saw
can,
that piece. Is that
yep,
not real? I
it's
thought it
not
was
real.
real.
It's not real. But he's
I thought
selling
it
it.
was real.
Yeah, I know. It's that good. Like it's
He
that
had the
photoreal, you know?
the wood shader that he had on there and the way the light bounced
So
on those.
he even lists out the materials that were used to build it
Oh,
as
does he
if it
list
was
it?
actually crafted from real stuff.
Oh my God, I freaking love this.
Hmm.
God, that's so cool. Because then, wait, so just let me get this correct. The materials that they're listing, these aren't the virtual materials. They're listing it as if it's physical, correct? Am I getting that correctly?
Yeah, so like the wood box that the flamingo was on was like, that's oak wood and stainless steel.
Wow, and that's what he listed on the. So you said they're selling this digital art on is it a crypto thing?
Yeah, it's a crypto thing. I think
Okay.
he's on Super Rare. Yeah, they're asking for his Instagram. I can't search right now, but his name is Gavin Shapiro. So GavinShapiro. Just Google him; it'll pop up. I
Oh my
disconnected my
God.
computer from the internet, so this would speed up. So I can't search right now.
Oh, sorry about that.
Oh no,
Internet
it's cool.
slow. But wow, God, wow. Well, you just super inspired me hearing that story because now I'm definitely going to think about that as I'm crafting artwork of like, God, because like just thinking about the logistics of this means that Gavin made one piece of, technical artwork and has
And
repurposed
one was
it
very
to,
imperfect.
God, it's so
Like
cool.
this one
I
has a
freaking
dent in it.
love
It's like,
that
yeah,
so
like this is
much.
a busted can of Campbell's soup. It's half off. Right.
Wow. God, that's fascinating. Well, I guess that, I mean, that's so smart though. If we start treating our digital artwork as if it's a physical good, then, oh yeah, sorry, someone did, Arena S,
Someone posted in there.
Arena,
Someone
or,
posted the Instagram in there. Yeah, so check that out. He's super
yay.
clever. That's super clever.
Wow, man, that's very moving for me because wow, I love exactly like this is what the space is causing. There's another one I should mention. Have you heard of Async? Um, they're another marketplace, so they're another crypto art marketplace.
Async, nope. Mm.
This one will blow your mind too. At least for me, it blew my mind when I learned how they're doing marketing, how they're marketing artwork differently than Super Rare, very differently than Known Origin. Imagine when you're doing your work. Whoa, my light.
Whoa,
Sorry.
disco party.
um,
Someone's trying to
when,
make Ethereum in there.
I know, right? When you're doing your artwork, and do you have like lots of layers in Photoshop at some point of your work? Like if you're ever in Photoshop for final, like for maybe final
For
compositing.
compositing, yeah, sure.
So let's say you have, for now, let's say you have 5 layers, and 2 of those layers are variants. So like one is a variant where you had eyes like this, and another one's where you had eyes like that. And those are just 2 layers in your art piece. But your layer, you have the whole body of your character and like the background. But these 2 layers are the eyes in 2 different versions. Async lets you sell 2 types of digital assets. They call masters, which is when all 5 layers of your artwork are combined as one piece. And they also sell your artwork as layers. So somebody can own a layer of your artwork. And if they buy it, let's say for whatever reason, the 2 eye variants are one like layer. If someone buys this layer of your artwork, the owner of your crypto layer can activate which one is on or off of the master at any time.
Oh.
And what's cool is the masters is more expensive because it's all of it combined, but whoever owns the master also accepts that the artwork is going to be ever changing because different people are going to own different layers of your artwork. And they might say, well, I'm feeling like we should swap out the eyes with this variant today. Or no, what? Actually, I'm feeling like I should swap it with this one. It blew my mind because I've never even thought of like all the layers of our artwork, all the layers that we make when we sell artwork are just as much a part of the art if you're working digitally. And this like allows someone to be like, you know what? I don't like your full artwork, but I love the layer. I want
The
to
2
own
bits, yeah.
I want to own that layer, and I want control as a collector. I want to have control to say this is what everyone's gonna see. Let me see. It's asynchronous. It's probably their site. ASYNC. Asynchronous. Async. Yeah, it's asynchronous. Let me do
Synchro.
crypto. CRYPTO crypto. Asynchronous crypto. The best of crypto. No, that's not it. No. False. I don't see it. Maybe it's async crypto, ASYNC.
So we just got a fake Christmas tree where you can actually program what light show you want it to do. And it's basically like, this, where it's like you program what artwork you want to see. So it's like, oh, I'm having a good day. I'll put the nice, bright, shiny, happy face character or whatever. And it's like, no, I'm angry. It's like you'd have like an emoji where it's just a changing emoji,
Totally.
It's like a mood ring, but just crypto art mood rings.
Yeah, but how weird is it that like there could be like 10 people who own part of your artwork,
Yeah.
They're like they want to be like they have that value. Oh yeah, async.art. Thank you so much.
Async.art, sweet.
Async. Let me double check. .art.
And just FYI,
Yes.
my phone is almost dead, so.
Oh, then we should definitely wrap.
We should wrap. This was really fun, though.
EJ, it's been a pleasure to have you here this evening and to talk about marketing and crypto art space. It almost feels like a podcast, so part of me is thinking of maybe ripping this audio and uploading it as an episode of Rethink Reality podcast.
Oh yeah, let me know.
Yeah, I'll save this stream here as an IGTV video as long as it doesn't crash out. I hope it doesn't crash when it's saving this video. Because this is some gold conversations. And is there any other questions or maybe where people might want to find you if they're seeing this after the fact? Like, who is this EJ amazing human being?
Sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
so just on Instagram, it's at iDesign, EYEDESYN, because that's the crypto way to spell design now. Um, but yeah, I teach Cinema 4D and all that stuff. So I'm always here for crypto art questions and Cinema 4D questions. So yes, please reach out and thank you so much, Don Allen, for all the information and all the things you're doing. Like super
Well,
inspiring. I got to go through your mograph.com course and get into
oh
Spark AR and
yay.
start making some filters. So thanks for making that.
Yeah, no
But yeah,
problem.
thank you so much for being such an awesome, positive influence in the inner little sphere of the world, little corner of the world. And that got now you got me inspired to start doing some like donating the crypto art to people or what Ethereum to get people started. We should do that.
Yeah, because it will
Sounds
just
like
kick them
fun.
off. They'll be like, "Oh, I can do this too now." Like,
Yeah,
let's lower the gate.
bring
Let's
down
start
the
it.
wall. Yep,
Yeah. Thank you
awesome.
again. This is
Thank
amazing,
you.
and I'll. Wow, this was so
Let's do
cool.
this again
Seriously.
because I'm sure I'll have way more questions about crypto art. We should do this like sometime early next year.
I'd be delighted.
Awesome. Thanks, Don.
All right, see ya. Bye,
Bye,
everybody.
everybody. Thanks for showing up.
Oh, sorry. Podcast name is called Rethink Reality. You can find it on Spotify. I think I have it on Google Podcasts now, and I have it on Apple Podcasts. It's a one-person shop right now, so I'm doing the entire. So I'm slow to get them back because I edit them so that it's refined to just the nuggets that are important. I'm vetting it for like accuracy. I'll probably be hiring people to help me with it though, because it's growing in popularity and it's like I wasn't expecting that, and now it's like whoa, there's a demand for this because they're like it's all about XR. So the whole thing is about future-proofing creatives for the XR revolution. It stands for
That's
extended
awesome.
realities. We're talking AR, VR, XR. So yeah,
Yeah, man, let me know because like this conversation I want to share to like my audience and
oh
school motion
wow,
audience and stuff.
oh
Yeah, so let
wow,
me
that's
know
so
if you do
cool.
that. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it's
So
so cool, man.
like I said,
Yeah,
I want to spread the word, and like I said, we should do like a live stream. I want to do articles and stuff. So yeah,
that would
get
be
the word
amazing.
out,
Yeah,
man. And
I'd be delighted.
I'm gonna need a fact check with you. So
Fact, oh yeah, I mean, man, I'm bad at fact checking. If anyone here is good at fact checking, please DM me right now. If you're like, I'm good at researching, because that's not
yeah,
my, I'm not that person.
I just want to make sure I get the specifics of crypto art and the process right. But yeah,
Yeah, it'll be fun.
awesome.
All
Yeah,
right,
awesome.
have a
So
good night, man.
how do
Oh,
I
sorry.
close this out so that I don't like it saves and stuff? Is that mostly on your end?
I think it'll be on my end. So
Okay.
once I close it, I think I'll be
You
able to
close
save
out. Okay.
this.
I won't
Yeah.
touch anything. I'll let you close out.
All right.
Thank you,
Actually,
man.
maybe for safety, I might need you to close it because like I'm used
Should
to.
I close it?
I've never ended a stream with two people on at the same time, so I don't know what that would
Oh,
do.
so I
I'm
need to
scared.
X myself out,
Yes,
which
unfortunately.
sounds mean.
I
Okay.
know it does, but thank you.
I'll
Have a
try
great night.
that. Have a good night. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, EJ. Wow, that was so cool. Oh my God. Just between all of us here, I learned so much of Cinema 4D from EJ. So like literally having this opportunity to talk about like a new cool creative technology is so inspiring for me because it's like I love Cinema 4D, and when I was just starting out and I didn't know anything and I went to YouTube to try to find out, I learned about Cinema 4D, a lot of it from EJ. And it's just so cool like wow, like we're talking now and about like a new technology and a new space, and man, this is I know there's a lot of stuff going on in 2020, but maybe this could be some light. Maybe our conversation could hopefully be a little bit of a light, a little bit of a fire underneath your feet to kind of motivate you and inspire you to get into art, digital art, and know that it's self-esteem is a big issue that a lot of digital artists have. They don't value themselves because they've been taught to not value themselves. And if there's any takeaway from now, it's that you should know that there's a lot of value in art, a lot more than we've been trained to think. And so it's our time. It's our time to shine. And so we'll go ahead and wrap up here. So thank you all so much. This was so cool, and we'll have a lot more content like this to come. Final reminders: if you want to support me, get my crypto art, make a bid, and then donate it to people who want to also get into crypto art, or donate a part of it. That would be cool. And then let's see. Oh, Rethink Reality podcast. Tell people about that. I have a new episode that I'm editing this week with a really cool company. Oh my God, I'm blanking out which country they're in. That's embarrassing. They're fascinating technology, but you'll learn all about them in the podcast. Okay. Yay. Oh, wow. Thank you, Kenzarad, and thank you, Gumbonic, and Elma Salaman 6, and Welke. I'm so happy. Yeah. But yeah, take this motivation and actually do something with it. That's something where I kind of try to I like people being motivated and inspired, but I also really like, maybe even like more, when someone takes their motivation and their inspiration and does something with it. And it doesn't have to be a big thing. Just do something small. Like if you could literally tonight or tomorrow write down, what are you feeling right now, and make it so that it's not just locked in your head, but rather you're taking this thought, you're taking this moment of motivation, you're taking this moment of inspiration, and then write down, how are you feeling? So that tomorrow or the next day when you look at it, maybe you don't like writing like me, do a voice recording. Make a voice recording private for yourself. You don't have to share it. A voice recording for yourself that you're going to listen to a week from now of how you felt right now. Because then you'll be reminded, because what happens with motivation is you get motivated and then you get this really cool high of like, oh my God, I'm so inspired, I'm going to do this stuff. But then you go right back into routine, and then that kills the motivation power. So like what I'm trying to do is break your routine. If you were in a routine that you're not liking, basically create something that's going to break the routine if you were in a bad routine, or just help you remind yourself like, okay, I'm motivated. Why are you motivated? What are you going to do about it? What are you going to because motivation's cool. I love it. It's a start though, in my opinion. You start with motivation, and then what are you going to do with it? And if you don't know what you're going to do, that's okay. I'm just saying, take a little baby step for yourself, some self-love, and write down or document or make a video, or maybe you don't communicate in that way at all. Draw a picture. If you communicate and you understand things by seeing visuals, or maybe by taking photography, any kind of form of expression, I would like you to use that form of expression to reflect on how you're feeling about this motivation. And then I want you to revisit that thing that you create a week from now. And then when it happens again, you're going to look at that thing that you made, and it's going to remind you of why you're motivated. And hopefully that can break a cycle of, to break a downward spiral and put you into an upward spiral of happiness. So that's it. All right. Have a good night, everybody. I'm going to end the live stream, and I'll try my best to save it if my internet doesn't crash. That's it. Oh, yeah. Bye-bye.